I have kidnapped an alien civilization. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 251, Eating the Keyboard. Shock. Bidex's range reaches 2,000 kilometers. Trembling. Is the fuel car coming to an end? Is Marxing battery a gimmick or a scam? 250,000 RMB vs $250,000. Then, Bidex and Marxing technology became the focus of news media attention. For Bidex, which can have a range of 2,000 kilometers, various evaluation experts appeared on the stage. Many car reviewers and big V's constantly questioned whether Bide and Marxing technology were cheating and teasing the public. A cloud car review expert with millions of fans even shouted on the interactive platform, "If Bidex's range can really reach 2,000 kilometers, I will eat the keyboard." There is also a car reviewer who collects money first every time he reviews a car. In the video he released, he said, if Bidex's range reaches 2,000 kilometers, he is willing to eat an indescribable substance. For a time, the internet was full of various jokes about Bidex. Among them, the magical pricing algorithm of Bidex has caused heated discussions on Weibo. Some netizens believe that Bidex's pricing is price discrimination, while more netizens believe that Bide has full autonomy in pricing, and no external forces should interfere. When a netizen with good intentions found out that Marxing battery comes from Yanjing Mozi Technology Laboratory. This technology laboratory was established by Liemo, a big boss who won the Abel Prize. The authenticity of Bidex and Marxing battery quickly became much clearer. Bide officials, who had been silent all along, also released a 24-hour video at this time. This video is also accompanied by an unedited fair statement from the notary office. In the video, the Bidex test car was driven by 4 Bide testers in turn, and after more than 20 hours, it completed a journey of more than 2,000 kilometers. The video has been released and immediately rushed to the hot search list. The internet is boiling again. On Weibo, the number of clicks on the test video reached 200 million in one day. It has become the video with the highest click rate in history. The internet has memory. Some netizens with good intentions dug out various bets of the previous cloud car reviewers and shouted to them to fulfill their promises. At one time, the sales of chocolate keyboards and dark chocolate by NBN on TV increased greatly. Netizens shouted that they were fooled. Great job. Liemo looked through the comments on social media and gave a thumbs up to King standing opposite. He was never stingy with praise for excellent subordinates. This is all because of your good leadership, boss. The agreement with Bide was also drafted by you personally. I just followed your orders. A red cloud flew across King's face, which was very inconsistent with her current image of a strong woman. Liemo smiled and shook his head. The agreement is one thing, and it is not an easy thing to get the other party to sign such a harsh agreement, especially when the negotiating opponent is a self-made entrepreneur like Wang Shufu. They have a natural arrogance in their bones. I don't understand one thing. Seeing that the boss was in such a good mood, King decided to raise the doubts that had been hidden in her heart for a long time. What do you say? Liemo asked. Why do we need Bide's net profit for the second year instead of Bide's 5% shares? According to the calculations of the accountants, the value of Bide's 5% shares will far exceed the net profit for the second year. King raised her doubts. She didn't believe that the boss, who was always shrewd and greedy for money, would not realize the difference. And Bide's net profit is a kind of gimmick. For example, they opened several new production lines for Bidex this year, and they will definitely include this part of the cost in the year-end financial report. Liemo looked at King's puzzled expression and couldn't help sighing in his heart. It seemed that she still didn't fully understand his big plan. Do you know why I forced Bidex to sell at 250,000 yuan in China? He didn't answer immediately, but raised a new question. For the promotion of Marxing batteries, if the price is too high, Bidex will become a plaything for the rich and cannot benefit the general public. King answered seriously. Liemo nodded and asked, according to my calculations, the manufacturing cost of Bidex is about 200,000 yuan. If other expenses are added, BYD's net profit for each BYDX sold will be only 20,000 RMB. 20,000 RMB in profit is not a small amount for ordinary models, but BYDX is the only new energy vehicle in the world with a range of 2,000 kilometers. Its expected profit should be more than 50,000 yuan. The nature of capital is to pursue profits, but this profit margin does not meet BYD's expectations. So if BYD wants to expand profits, the only way is to reduce production costs. But there are some production costs that cannot be reduced. Recently, some global models have appeared that can pass various stringent safety tests abroad, but in domestic safety tests, their scores are lower than some cheap domestic cars. Why is this? Liemo unknowingly learned the self-questioning and self-answering of the big-headed Pajero people. Without waiting for Xiaoqing to answer, Liemo continued, the reason is very simple, that is, simplified configuration. Some manufacturers can do everything to simplify configuration, such as reducing the use of high-strength steel in the car body and shortening the thickness of the front and rear bumpers. Such a car, although it is fine when driving normally, once an accident occurs, it will be exposed. Liemo said seriously, I will never allow BYDX to have such simplified configuration. If we only charge BYD's pure profit, BYD company will have no burden invisibly, and they will naturally not think about manufacturing costs. On the contrary, in order to make BYDX gain a good reputation, they will definitely make strict requirements regardless of cost. After all, the profits earned by these cars will be given to others, and a good reputation is their own. After hearing this, Xiaoqing's eyes were a little moist. She didn't expect boss to be so well intentioned in promoting Marxing batteries. In recent years, the domestic automobile market has been highly competitive. In order to expand sales, automobile manufacturers have to gradually reduce the price of cars. For consumers, they only see the continuous price reduction of cars, but they don't see that this price reduction often means simplified configuration. Conscientious car companies only simplify some insignificant configurations, such as installing one less reversing light or removing fog lights. But some unscrupulous car companies secretly replace the high-grade steel used in the car body with low-grade steel, which is bound to affect the safety of the car. At this time, someone knocked on the door, and Xiaoqing quickly wiped her eyes with a tissue. Boss, this is a new Nature magazine, and your article is published on it. Wang Xiaoli walked in with a magazine. She saw Xiaoqing was there and smiled. Liemo took the magazine. Wow, this issue of Nature magazine actually used his headshot as the cover. In the photo, he looked at the distant starry sky with deep eyes. Boss, your photo is quite handsome, Xiaoqing said on the side. More than a dozen foreign photographers, carrying a lot of photographic equipment, came to China from afar, and finally only selected this photo. How can it not be handsome? But Liemo was still very satisfied with Xiaoqing's vision. There was also a huge title on the cover, Tremble, Limo Fusion Theory is Changing the Whole of Physics. Turning to the first page, there was a preface written by Professor Leakes of Cambridge. When I first saw the limo fusion theory, I suspected that I was reading a paper by a folk scientist. Two atoms can fuse into a special combination of atoms under certain circumstances. Oh my god, what am I seeing? Even the craziest scientist would not have such a whimsical idea. If the author of this paper was not that magical oriental genius, I swear I would throw it into the trash immediately. But science is so magical. It is obviously an absurd theory, but under the mathematical magic cube of the magical oriental genius, I couldn't find any mistakes. Could it be that such a combination of atoms really exists? At this time, I fell into panic. When Nature magazine handed me the second paper on limo fusion theory by the magical oriental genius, I was still in doubt. The basic structure of all things in the world, atoms, should not be easily matched. But this paper is accompanied by an experiment done by the oriental genius at the Yanjing Electron-Positron Collider Center. In the experiment, they discovered this combination of atoms. In other words, the limo atomic fusion theory has withstood the test of experiments. Facts are facts. No matter how absurd the reality is, you have to accept it. This is science. So starting today, this fantastic idea will officially become a reality. Chapter 252 TV 60 minutes. since he had not decided whether to accept the special task of the learning assistance system. Liemo had a rare leisure time. He also resumed his normal working hours, going to and from get off work on time every day, and began to prepare the third paper on limo fusion theory. A scientific theory has to go through countless doubts from its inception to maturity. In this paper, he will systematically explain the chemical basis of fusion theory. Boss, the teacher from the academic affairs office is here again. Zhang Xiaoli knocked on the door and reported. Liemo frowned. Since the publication of limo fusion theory, the school has invited him to lead a group of graduate students several times, but he politely refused. What a joke, he hasn't even graduated with a doctorate yet. Can he lead graduate students? Tell them, I'm out for something. It's better not to meet than to refuse in person. After several talks, Liemo admired the language skills of the teachers in the academic affairs office. Zhang Xiaoli closed the door and left. Knock, knock, knock. Zhang Xiaoli knocked on the office door again. Her face flushed as she said, "Boss, the reporter from the national TV station who was scheduled last time has arrived at the door of our laboratory. Do you want to go and greet him?" Liemo had to put the unfinished paper into the cabinet. It seemed that he had no time to write today. When Liemo's fusion theory was first published in Nature, he was immediately criticized by many fellow scientists. Many foreign media even made a big fuss in the media, claiming that Liemo had become an amateur scientist and that the atomic fusion theory was the stupidest theory in recent years. At that time, the national TV station invited him to do an exclusive interview to respond to the offensive remarks from abroad. But Liemo politely refused because he knew that any exquisite language could not compare to the data in the laboratory. With the publication of the second paper, many bigwigs in the academic community stood on Liemo's side. At this time, those foreign media that had attacked the atomic fusion theory extended olive branches to him and sent him interview requests through various relationships, but they were all directly rejected by Liemo. At this time, the national television station invited Liemo again. They wanted to do a 60-minute interview with Liemo and broadcast it on Channel 1. This time, Liemo agreed without hesitation. "Hello, Professor Lee." The team leader today was Zhang Xiaoli, who was dressed in red. She had hosted the award ceremony for the Natural Science Award before, so the two of them were naturally familiar with each other. Several staff members carrying cameras followed behind her. "Hello, Sister Zhang." Liemo showed his signature smile on his face. "Hello, everyone. Today our program team has come to a mysterious laboratory." Zhang Xiaoli faced the camera and began recording the program. Why is it mysterious? Because although this laboratory was established only more than 6 months ago, it has made an invention that can change the world. That is, the Marxing battery. The Bidex equipped with the Marxing battery has been launched on the market. It has been welcomed by consumers with its excellent performance. It can be said that it is hard to get a car now. The person standing next to me now is Professor Liemo, the founder of the Yanjing Mosi Technology Laboratory. You should all be familiar with Professor Liemo. He has appeared in our national television program. An enthusiastic netizen once made a ranking of global news cover figures. Professor Liemo ranked second with 31 domestic magazine covers and 16 foreign magazine covers. The first place is a superstar in Europe and the United States. What do you think of this ranking, Professor Liemo? As she said this, she handed the microphone to Liemo. Liemo regretted rejecting the program team's suggestions on the lines in advance. He didn't expect that this spicy host would throw out a difficult question right at the beginning. He straightened his chest, spread his hands, and said with a smile, "Maybe I'm the most handsome among scientists. It is said that handsome boys are very lucky." Zhang Xiaoli held the microphone and covered her mouth with her hands, laughing. "I didn't expect that the magical oriental genius also has a humorous side. What do you think of the magical oriental genius, the nickname given to you by Europeans and Americans?" Liemo smiled and said, "I think this nickname is not accurate. It would be better if they removed the word oriental. Magical genius, this is in line with my temperament." Professor Liemo is really humorous. His arrogant performance made Zhao no longer know how to respond. Cut. The director behind him saw the embarrassment of the host and indicated that this one had passed. Zhao Dan turned around and said, "Can our program team shoot some scenes in the laboratory and broadcast them on TV as materials?" Liemo hesitated for a moment. These were not included in the interview content that was communicated in advance, but looking at Zhang Yuayu's expectant eyes, he said, "Due to confidentiality reasons, only the laboratory and experimental equipment can be filmed, and the staff in the laboratory cannot be filmed, and the filmed scenes must be screened by the laboratory security department." Zhang Yuayu frowned. She had never encountered a task that did not allow filming of staff, but seeing the firm look on the face of the young professor, she had to nod in agreement. "Brother Hey, go and accompany the comrades of the program team to film the laboratory," Liemo said to Brother Hey, who had been staying in the corner. "This is my office." Liemo gently pushed open the door. "The interview with him will be conducted in the office." Zhang Yuayu looked at the books on the secret mother, placed on the bookshelf next to her in surprise. The director signaled the start of the interview. "Today I would like to congratulate Professor Liemo in advance. Your limo fusion theory has been accepted by more and more Chinese and foreign scientists. Thinking back, when your theory was first published in Nature, it was said that it was maliciously attacked by many media. What do you think about this?" Zhao Dan asked with a smile. Liemo sat on the computer chair, and in his heart, this is a stab in the back, absolutely a stab in the back. But he still replied with a smile, "I don't blame those media for this matter, because they earn that money." "Oh. Can you talk about it in detail?" Zhang Yuayu was very curious about his statement. Teachers earn money from teaching, workers earn money from working, singers earn money from singing, scientists earn money from scientific research, and some media earn money from attracting attention. But I want to warn some bad foreign media that there is a bottom line for attracting attention, and they cannot distort the real situation for the click rate of the program. Zhang Yuayu nodded frequently, and she agreed with Liemo's statement. "Did you expect that the atomic fusion theory would cause such a big storm?" At that time, the articles criticizing you were almost all over the major newspapers in the world. Chapter 253 Original Intention. "I have expected all this," Liemo answered frankly. "Humans always hope to explore the unknown, but they are full of fear of the unknown. Compared to Bruno, who was burned to death in the Flower Square, I'm treated much better today. After all, I can still stand here and accept your interview." After saying this, he made a lingering fear expression, which made Zhang Yuayu tremble. As a well-known host, Zhang Yuayu has interviewed many celebrities. There are billionaires with a net worth of tens of billions, and there are also stars with millions of fans, but when they are interviewed, they do not have the casual attitude of the young man in front of them. This casualness in their bones often means absolute confidence. Looking at this spectacular laboratory in front of you, it is hard to think that this is the masterpiece of a 20-year-old young man. Zhang Yuayu changed the subject. "But why did you think of building this laboratory in the first place? Building such a modern laboratory must require a huge amount of funds." Hearing the host ask about the reason for building the laboratory in the first place, Liemo was refreshed. Although he and Professor Wu discussed this issue, the national television program is facing the whole country, and what he said will be heard by countless viewers. He looked into the distance with deep eyes and said, "There is only one purpose for establishing a laboratory, that is, I need to transform academic achievements into practical technical achievements." Just because of this, Zhang Yuayu felt that the young genius in front of her was too willful. This reminded her of a female driving school owner who was interviewed by reporters for doing charity. When asked why she opened a driving school, the female owner answered with a sad face, because she had failed the driver's license test for 3 years, and her family opened this driving school for her convenience. For scientific research, a scientist should choose to join those large scientific research institutions, which can also save a lot of time and money. So, his reason is a bit ridiculous. Liemo nodded affirmatively. "Do you think that I should focus more on academic research rather than participating in actual experiments?" Zhang Yuayu saw that her little thoughts were exposed, so she simply said openly, "You are so young and have already won the Abel Prize. If you continue to follow the principles of mathematics, you have a great chance of winning the Fields Medal." Liemo smiled slightly. Zhang Yuayu's thoughts also represent the thoughts of many professors at Yanda. Since he established the laboratory, the name of not doing his job properly has often accompanied him. What if you won the Fields Medal? Liemo asked back. If you win the Fields Medal, you will become the most famous mathematician in the world. And then Zhang Yuyu realized that the laboratory of the young man sitting in front of her had just invented a magical new energy battery. The way of survival of the Earth's civilization may change dramatically because of the use of this battery. In comparison, the Fields Medal does seem to be too small. She shook her head helplessly. The world of genius is indeed difficult for people to understand. Seeing that the host did not fully understand the true meaning of establishing a laboratory, Liemo took the initiative to ask, "What do you think are the gaps between us and foreign countries in scientific research?" This is a sensitive question, and Zhang Yuyu looked embarrassed. Her eyes glanced at the director behind the camera. The middle-aged director wearing a hat pondered for a moment and nodded gently. My country's modern science started relatively late, and the conditions were relatively poor. Zhang Yuyu tried to answer. After all, she was not a professional. Liemo smiled and shook his head. The host's answer was exactly the habitual cognition of ordinary people. If you say it started late, modern science had already taken root and sprouted in this ancient land 100 years ago. If you say the conditions are poor, in order to support the development of science, our country has already invested more than 2 trillion yuan in scientific research funds each year, ranking second in the world. You know, China is still a developing country, and such a high investment is rare in the world. Zhang Yuyu heard that both of her answers were refuted by Liemo with facts, and asked unconvincedly, "I wonder what Professor Li has to say." "Learn to apply." Liemo said 4 words. "Learn to apply? Can you explain the reason?" Zhang Yuyu asked with a frown. Compared to domestic research institutions, which rely on state-allocated funds for scientific research, many major scientific research results and inventions abroad are completed by some large private laboratories. These private laboratories transform their scientific research results into scientific inventions. On the one hand, these scientific inventions can greatly promote the progress of civilization, and on the other hand, they can obtain huge amounts of funds to feed back to the laboratories. Sustainable development? Zhang Yuyu thought of a word. Yes, it is sustainable development. Instead of relying on blood transfusions, it is better to make blood by yourself. This is exactly the original intention of my establishment of the laboratory, Liemo added. Zhang Yuyu nodded continuously. She didn't expect that the young genius in front of her would have such a far-sighted vision. "I heard that you have been nominated for the Nobel Prize in Physics. What do you think about this?" Zhang Yuyu changed the topic. Since the LIMO atomic fusion theory has been gradually accepted by the academic community, the voice that Liemo will win this year's Nobel Prize in Physics has become louder and louder. Liemo replied, "I haven't received any relevant information yet. You know that Marxing battery has just been released, and I still have to arrange the next work plan for the laboratory. As for my feelings, I once talked about my views on winning awards in a program. An award is a compliment to a scientist's past achievements, while a true scientist values the future. In fact, Liemo is looking forward to the Nobel Prize. Some people say that Chinese scientists all have a Nobel complex. But thinking of the system's reject international awards task, do you really have to give up this much anticipated award for 200,000 points? Okay, today's program ends here. Thank you, Professor Liemo. Zhang Yuyu saw the director's gesture at the back and ended the interview. While the colleagues and the program group were busy packing up their equipment, Zhang Yuyu smiled and said, "The program is expected to be broadcast at 10 o'clock tomorrow night. I hope you can also contribute a little to the ratings." Liemo nodded. "Of course, I also want to see if I'm more handsome on TV." Gust Foundation in M country across the ocean. A middle-aged man sat at his desk with a haggard face, his eyes fixed on his mobile phone, afraid of missing any information. Time passed by minute, and finally, a new message appeared in the inbox. Faced with this long-awaited message, the middle-aged man hesitated, as if this message was a notice of execution. In the end, he gently clicked on the message. There were only a few strange symbols on the message. The middle-aged man's face suddenly changed, and he hurriedly threw away the phone, just like throwing away a poisonous snake. A few minutes later, He calmed down, and a fierce light flashed in his eyes. He carefully took off the necklace hanging around his neck, and a small cross was hanging at the bottom of the necklace. The middle-aged man gently moved the frame behind him, and a keyhole appeared on the wall. He slowly inserted the small cross into the keyhole, twisted it carefully, and click, the lock opened, and pulled it gently. A box appeared inside. When the box was opened, the office was suddenly shining with gold, and the middle-aged man's face showed an intoxicated expression. He took out a bag, and prepared to put the gold bars into the bag. At this time, there was a loud noise at the door, and the solid wood door, that was more decorative than practical, was kicked into pieces. The middle-aged man looked at the door in panic, and the bag in his hand fell to the ground. "You want to run?" When the smoke cleared, a skinny young man appeared at the door. His face was sallow, and he looked sick. Seeing this person who looked like a patient, the middle-aged man did not relax his vigilance, but became more panicked. "I'm going to give these to the organization. Please consider that I have made so many contributions to the organization over the years, and let me go this time." The middle-aged man trembled all over and kept begging. He. The sick young man grinned, smiled coldly, revealing a pair of pale teeth. It cost more than 1 billion in funds, and mobilized dozens of elites in the organization. But because of your stupidity, a perfect plan failed. It also exposed the 2 moles that we spent more than 10 years to develop, causing unforgivable harm to the organization. As the visitor continued to list the crimes, the middle-aged man finally couldn't hold on, and collapsed to the ground completely. "Since you are my senior, I will give you a quick death." Seeing the middle-aged man's frightened look, the sick young man looked disdainful. He took out a plastic bag from the bag, which contained a small blue pill. He gently let go of his hand and the bag fell to the ground. The middle-aged man opened the bag with trembling hands, and put the small blue pill in his palm. After hesitating for a long time, when he thought of the brutal methods used by the organization in the past, he finally swallowed the pill directly. After a few seconds, his whole body began to twitch, and white foam came out of the corners of his mouth. The sick young man stepped over the middle-aged man on the ground, picked up the gold bar on the table, weighed it with his hand, and a smile appeared at the corners of his mouth. At this time, the broken mobile phone on the ground caught his attention. He took out a plastic bag from his pocket, and put the fragments into the plastic bag. Chapter 254, Sending Warmth. Breaking news. Professor Lee Emo is about to receive the Medal of Freedom from Country M. According to the news from the roadside agency, Congressman Pete from Country M has submitted a bill. If the news is true, Professor Lee Emo will be the 5th foreigner to receive the Medal of Freedom. $100 million in recognition of Professor Lee Emo's outstanding contributions to the energy industry. Country M will provide a bonus of up to $100 million. Big revelation. Marxing battery has been selected as one of the top 10 inventions that change the world in modern times, and the global power structure will undergo tremendous changes. The National Academy of Sciences of Country M intends to invite Professor Lee Emo to join. Lee Emo looked at several newspapers spread out on the desk. The articles in these newspapers all linked him to Country M. Presidential Medal. $100 million. Boss, we are going to get rich. For the news in the newspaper, Zia King deliberately turned down the busy things of Marxing technology and rushed back to the laboratory. Sure enough, Lee Emo didn't know about this news, and his confused expression made Zia King feel that the journey of dozens of kilometers was not in vain. Unlike Zia King's joy, Lee Emo frowned. According to common sense, the awarding organization will communicate with the winners privately before awarding the prize. Even for the Nobel Prize, which is known for its confidentiality, the winners will receive a call from the awarding committee. But he did not receive any notification. Is the news in the newspaper false? Impossible. These news are published by different newspapers, and the sources of the news are clearly marked. It is absolutely impossible to be false. Seeing the solemn expression on the boss's face, Zia King's inner joy slowly dissipated. She asked in confusion, "Boss, is there any problem?" Lee Emo showed a bitter smile on his face, folded the newspaper, put it aside, and asked, "Do you know what the M Country Medal of Freedom means?" Zia King shook her head. This was also the first time she had heard of this award. The Medal of Freedom is the highest civilian medal of honor in the United States. It is awarded to civilians who have made outstanding contributions in the fields of science, culture, sports and social activities. Liam tried hard to read the information in his head and said slowly, so far, a total of 4 foreigners have received this medal. Since it is allowed to be awarded to foreigners, there is no problem. Zia King thought that this medal could only be awarded to people from the United States. Looking at the naive Zia King, Liam shook his head helplessly and said, if it were that simple, it would be great. During World War II, a president of the United States specially set up the Medal of Freedom to commend civilians who made special contributions to the United States during the war. Making special contributions to the United States. What special contributions can I, a Chinese, make to the United States? And a special bonus of $100 million was added. Wow, it's really generous. $100 million. If this medal can be accepted, the capital of the laboratory will be returned. Unfortunately, Liam is distressed by these $100 million that can be seen and touched. Then we can't accept it. I think they have bad intentions. After listening to Zia King, she suddenly realized some people in country M knew that Liam would definitely not accept this kind of award, so they deliberately spread the news in the newspapers to create a false impression of established royalty. Liam thought for a while and said, you ask the publicity department of marketing technology to contact the newspapers. I want to hold a press conference, and it would be best if we could invite some well-known media to participate. He knew that in the internet age, it takes only one mouth to spread rumors, but it takes a lot of effort to refute them. The best way to deal with this sudden smear is to quickly make a strong counterattack. After Zia King walked out of the office, Liam suddenly remembered the system task that could be rejected. Isn't this a good opportunity? Pajero. Grey fog filled the air, and a pink learning machine appeared in front of him. Open a new taskbar. Task. Scientist self-esteem task requirements. Reject an international award task time limit. 60 days task reward. 200,000 points, 1 ordinary lottery. Accept. Yes/no. The Medal of Freedom of Country M should be an international award, right? Forget it. How can I not try it? Liam lightly clicked to accept the task, and then exited the interface of the learning machine. He still had an important thing to do. That is to give those lovely fans a clear explanation on Weibo. He opened Weibo. Sure enough, some people have started discussing the medal incident. Netizen Xiaopahei said, the boss accidentally became financially free again. The people of M country are too generous. Netizen Chun Fengsu said, the boss is the boss. There are people who send warmth thousands of miles away, like it. Most netizens still have a positive attitude towards this kind of warmth medal. Liam smiled slightly. This was a prelude. It seemed that the mastermind behind the scenes had not yet launched a smear campaign. Then he read on. A message named Pretty Little Flower caught his attention. She said, as a Chinese, isn't it inappropriate to accept the Medal of Freedom from M country? It seems that this is a wise person. Liam gently clicked a like below. Then he posted a new blog post. I'm a Chinese professor, eating Chinese food, and drinking Chinese water. How can I be awarded the Medal of Freedom from Country M? The news that Liam received the Medal of Freedom from Country M currently circulating in newspapers and on the internet is false news. I, Professor Liam of Yenching University, hereby solemnly declare that the relevant institutions of Country M have made untrue statements without communicating with me. I will reserve the right to sue. Then, send it. Soon. This freshly baked blog post has hundreds of thousands of hits, and many netizens left comments below. What's wrong with the boss? Don't you want the bonus that is delivered to your door? I said that Country M would not be so kind. There must be a conspiracy. Boss, the press conference will be held in the school conference room at 3 p.m. When Liam finished the rumor busting on Weibo, Zia King called, the news channel of the national television station will broadcast it live, and foreign media will also participate. A press conference was held so quickly, and it was broadcast live on national television. He felt that Zia King's work efficiency was getting higher and higher. So he said, you did a great job, thank you. Zia King on the other end of the phone said embarrassedly, this is all thanks to Sister Zhang. She applied to the station for it. It turned out to be her. A graceful figure emerged in Liamo's mind. 3 p.m. And a conference room. When Liamo appeared on the podium, hundreds of media reporters had gathered below the stage. Hello, everyone. This is the scene of Professor Liamo's press conference. You can see that the atmosphere is very warm. There are also many foreign media preparing questions. Professor Liamo has come to the press conference. Let's take a look at why this young genius suddenly held this press conference. At this time, the Chinese who followed Liamo all turned on the TV and locked on the national news channel. Liamo rarely appeared in the media's sight. Why did he invite so many reporters to hold such a press conference? At this time, a capable girl in a professional suit walked up to the podium and said with a smile, "Hello, friends from the media. Welcome to the press conference of Liamo and his friends." That's right, a banner with the words "Press Conference of Liamo and his friends" was hung behind the rostrum. Several foreign reporters could no longer hold back and raised their hands high. Xia King took the microphone and said, "Please be patient. Professor Liamo will talk about the reason for this press conference, and then we will have the question and answer session." Chapter 255. $100 million. Too much. The reporters in the audience were suddenly silent. Everyone was waiting for this mysterious scientist who rarely appeared in public. A young man in a plaid shirt jumped onto the podium. His appearance attracted the sound of camera shutters. "Hello, everyone. I'm Liamo. Recently, there have been reports in newspapers and media that I have won the Medal of Freedom of the United States. I would like to make the following official statement here. I have not accepted the Medal of Freedom of the United States, and I will not accept it in the future. Thank you, everyone." The young man used brief words to refute the rumor. "Now, please ask questions, journalists. Professor Lee, why don't you accept the Medal of Freedom of the United States? It is said that this time the United States has specially set a prize of $100 million for the Medal of Freedom." A short-haired foreign female reporter raised her hand first. The cameras set up in the audience focused on his face. Liamo replied with a smile. "First of all, whether to accept an award is entirely my personal freedom. If the awarding department of the Medal of Freedom does not even leave this humble freedom to others, then I suggest that it change its name. Secondly, $100 million is too much. Excessive pursuit of money will make a scientist lose his way. As a true scientist, I will never allow myself to make such a principled mistake. Do you think the prize money is too much?" His complaints made the reporters in the audience look at each other in bewilderment. Is there still such a pure person in the world? Liamo stood on the stage with a smile on his face, calmly bearing the questioning eyes. "Do you mean that you think $100 million is too much? Maybe we should suggest to the awarding department of the United States to change the prize amount to $10 million? The female reporter just asked with a pure face. Before he could answer, the reporters in the audience burst into laughter. There are still such pure reporters now. Doesn't she understand that this is just an excuse? Liamo had to shake his head helplessly. For this kind of question, he really didn't know how to answer. Professor Lee, Bidex equipped with Marxing battery has been launched. According to statistics, the sales volume of Bidex has reached 600,000 units this month. What do you think about this? At this time, the reporter from the national television station saw Liamo's embarrassment and raised his hand. At this time, the reporters in the audience came to their senses. Marxing battery is about to sweep the world with its excellent performance, and the young professor in front of him is indeed the inventor of Marxing. If not now, when will it be better to interview him? So they all turned on the recorder. The sales volume of Bidex is completely within my expectations. In fact, the current sales volume cannot reflect its popularity because it is restricted by the production of Marxing battery, and the orders for Bidex have been scheduled for a year later. Liamo replied. Every month, Xia King would give him the financial statements of Marxing technology for that month for review. According to the statements, the number of vehicles waiting to be delivered has reached 3 million. The reporters in the audience exclaimed at this time. The sales volume of 600,000 units a month, and the orders are even scheduled for a year later. This is a super phenomenal model. Yes, there are even many consumers who cannot order a car and call the newspaper office, claiming to complain to Bide. A reporter from the newspaper said. Liemo spread his hands. This requires Byte's President Wan to come forward to explain. After all, I'm just a battery seller. The atmosphere of the press conference was very good. Great. Just when Liemo thought that the press conference was completed in this friendly atmosphere, at this time, a foreign bearded reporter raised his hand and said, "Professor Lee, it is said that the pricing power of Bytex lies with Marxing technology." Liemo nodded. "According to our agreement with Byte, the pricing power of Bytex within 2 years is indeed in Marxing technology. I will sue you for suspected price discrimination. The price of Bytex in your country is only 250,000 RMB, while in our country the price of Bytex reaches 250,000 US dollars, which is several times the price difference." The bearded reporter was so excited that his face flushed. A reporter at the press conference clamored to report Marxing technology for price discrimination, which was a big melon. The reporters in the audience looked at each other at the same time, and they were all waiting for the answer of the mysterious scientist. Liemo was not panicked at all about this question. He said calmly, "For the differential pricing of Bytex, our Marxing technology company has its own complete set of calculation methods. Not only Bytex, but also the future Marxing battery will be sold to car companies around the world, and this calculation method is also adopted as a manufacturer of goods, and this product does not involve people's livelihood and medical care, so I think Marxing technology has the independent pricing power for this product. Compared with some foreign high-tech products that are often banned from sale in China, Marxing technology's approach is still very honest. Of course, if foreign consumers think that the price of Bytex is too high, they can vote with their feet and not buy it. After all, the money is in your own pocket, right?" The reporters in the audience suddenly realized many foreign brands of goods on the market are priced much higher in China than abroad, and Chinese consumers can only silently accept this huge scissors gap. The words of this mysterious scientist clearly told those foreigners that, since you dislike the high price, you can just not buy it. Is there any need to pretend to be wronged here? His humorous language won a round of applause. Reporters kept nodding in support. Compared with the Eurozone, country M has actually taken a big advantage. The bearded reporter blushed and stammered, "Of course, that's not what I meant. I just want to ask if Marxing technology can increase the sales quota of Bytex in country M. We in country M are not short of money. Although the price of Bytex has reached 250,000 US dollars, its grade and practicality are much higher than luxury cars of the same price. It is the most sci-fi car I have ever seen. After Bytex was released, I immediately paid a deposit on the official website, but the production plan has been scheduled for 1 year later. On the black market, the transfer fee for a car quota has reached 200,000 US dollars. It turns out that scalpers are everywhere." The reporter's words aroused Liemo's vigilance. He knew that Bytex was also hard to find in country M, but he didn't expect that the scalpers would increase the price so much. "Foreign scalpers are ruthless." Liemo smiled and replied, "Please rest assured, consumers around the world, as the scale of Marxing battery production increases, the output of Bytex is also rising. The second phase of the Marxing technology battery factory is about to be completed. By then, we will strive to make Bytex available for sale in every 4S store." After that, he used his eyes to signal Xia King, who was standing next to him. Xia King walked up to the stage gracefully, holding the microphone, and said, "Today's press conference is here. Thank you for participating." Liemo's speech at the press conference appeared on the TV screens of thousands of households through the live broadcast car of the national television station. Fuck, 100 million US dollars, you just say no? Zhao Peng is a freshman who has just entered college. He has a wealthy family and goes to work part-time with his classmates every week. In his words, after entering college, you should be self-reliant. Then on weekend nights, he will use the money earned from part-time jobs to invite everyone to get together for a meal. On the TV in the restaurant, the news channel of the national television station is replaying Liemo's press conference. That's right, if I had 100 million US dollars, I would not go to school and travel around the world. Tang Fang picked up a glass of beer and drank it all. This damn weather was almost making him hot. You know what? Is there any free money in the world? Think about it, we distributed flyers all day today and only got less than 200 yuan. I'm afraid there is an ulterior motive behind this money. The oldest Wang Zhengxing poured a glass of iced mineral water and said thoughtfully. His words aroused the agreement of the other two. There is no free lunch in the world, especially for the country like the United States, that likes to take advantage of others. The same scene happened in the north and south of China, and $100 million became a topic of conversation for thousands of households after dinner. Chapter 256 Mission completed. Li Mo had a friendly communication with Bai's Wang Shufu via email. During the communication, he expressed his concern about the problem of arrogant scalpers in Bai's country market. Wang Shufu replied that Bai's marketing department had already discovered this sign and promised to take effective measures to crack down on these scalpers immediately to ensure that consumers in country can buy high quality and low priced Bai decks. Ding 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 ding, new task completed. Just after replying to the email, this sound appeared in Li Mo's mind. Is this task completed? Unexpectedly, the good intentions of country directly helped him complete a task. This warmth was delivered in place. Pajero. Pajero. Grey fog filled the air, and a pink learning machine appeared in front of Li Mo. Click the task label and select a new task. Task. Scientist self-esteem task requirements. Reject an international award task completion. 100% task reward. 200,000 points, already issued. 1 ordinary lottery. Click on the character attributes. 1. Mathematics level. 6. 40-1500/500,000. 2. Physics level. 4. 2,000/100,000. 3. Chemistry level 4. 2,000/100,000. 4. Biology level. 4. 2,000/100,000. 5. Intelligence level. 4 available points. 200,000 mathematics will soon reach level 7. Li Mo suppressed his inner joy and gently added all the points to the mathematics subject. The attributes after the addition are completed. 1. Mathematics level. 7. 10-1500/1 million. 2. Physics level. 4. 2,000/100,000. 3. Chemistry level 4. 2,000/100,000. 4. Biology level. 4. 2,000/100,000. 5. Intelligence level. 4 available points. 0. Li Mo felt dizzy in his head. No, this was the sublimation of wisdom. Level 6 mathematics can make him one of the world's top mathematicians, so level 7 mathematics is enough to make him one of the few people at the top of the pyramid. What will happen if the mathematics level is raised to level 10? Li Mo's heart is full of expectations. System prompt. Congratulations on your winning a regular lottery opportunity. Do you want to draw now? Lottery time. The familiar big turntable appeared on the interface of the learning machine. 1. A signed copy of the popular Pajero superstar Miss La La La. 2. A super digital computer. 3. An intergalactic B-126 transport ship. 4. A high-resolution holographic imager. 5. The wreckage of a broken low-light-speed electric particle energy engine. 6. Energy Coffee X10. Pajero superstar? Miss La La La. Don't Pajero people have no art but only science? What the hell is this Miss La La La? The first one was actually the signature of a Pajero singer, which made Li Mo feel unacceptable. The grey fog in the space was surging. Please be careful with your words. Although we Pajero people don't have art, we have the greatest scientists in the universe, and Miss La 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 is one of the best. She successfully cracked the gravity code, and is the idol of all Pajero people. Thinking back then, when I was about to be two-dimensionalized, it was Miss La 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 who sent me the Paimi fruit from Gilistar. I will never forget that taste. The big-headed Pajero people who are always good at playing dead retorted excitedly after hearing Li Mo's words. Li Mo shook his head helplessly. He didn't expect that Pajero people also have brainless fans, and a signature can be worth a transport ship. Pray that I don't get an autograph. Pray that I don't get La La La's autograph. Li Mo closed his eyes and said to himself, the autograph that the big-headed Pajero people treasured was just a piece of waste paper to him now. The big turntable turned, and the pointer turned rapidly. Congratulations on winning 5. The broken wreckage of the low light speed ion energy engine. A voice came from the grey fog. Liemo opened his eyes, and a huge metal object appeared in front of him. It had a bronze appearance, and several strange symbols flashed on it from time to time. There were 5 basketball-sized jet nozzles at the tail. Touching it gently with his hand, a cold feeling spread from his fingertips to his whole body, and he couldn't help shivering. This engine can actually cool down. Liemo found that the surface of the finger that had just touched the engine had a little frost on it. At this time, a transparent label appeared above the engine. Origin: Pajero 1,281,726 colonial planet power. 2.5 million horsepower energy, electron particle energy maximum speed supported. 0.4 times the speed of light. 2.5 million horsepower engine. Liemo knew that the rocket engine with the largest thrust on Earth was the Russian liquid rocket engine RD-171M Tsar engine, which had 246,000 horsepower. But the thrust generated by the engine using electron particle energy was as much as 10 times that of the Tsar engine. Maybe. Copyright. Liemo had a bold idea in his mind. The excellent performance of the Marxing battery made him deeply feel that the same material could produce completely different effects under the generation gap of civilization level. But now he was facing a very realistic problem. That is, how to put this big thing into the backpack. It should be hundreds of pounds, right? Liemo frowned and tried to touch the engine wreckage with his hand. Unexpectedly, with his subtle movements, the huge engine wreckage was actually lifted up by him. So light. Or is it that my strength has increased? Liemo was full of doubts. Ordinary physical rules do not apply to the grey fog space. At this time, the explanation of the big-headed Pajero man came from the high platform. While Liemo put the engine wreckage into the backpack, he felt that the big-headed man was too active today. Question time. According to the rules, completing the tasks of the learning assistance system and upgrading the subjects can get the opportunity to ask questions. So this time he got 2 opportunities to ask questions. This time, Liemo asked the questions he had prepared long ago. Can I ask questions? Excuse me. The voice of the big-headed Pajero man came from the high platform. If the Earth is occupied by aliens, how will they treat us natives? Liemo asked. Through the stories told by the big-headed Pajero man before, he knew that there are countless advanced civilizations in this universe. In front of them, the Earth civilization is just like a newborn baby. The grey fog rolled on the high platform. I can only give a partial answer to your question, because although our Pajero civilization has long gone to the universe and has come into contact with many types of civilizations, but the universe is too big, and there are many types of civilizations that have never been heard of. The big-headed Pajero man answered cautiously. The civilizations in the universe can be roughly divided into 3 categories according to their expansion. The first category, territorial expansion civilization. The purpose of civilization is to expand. In order to survive, they will continue to occupy the surrounding planets. The second category, technological expansion civilization. This civilization is committed to the development of science and technology and prying into the mysteries of the universe. They are only interested in planets with resources. Our Pajero civilization is such a civilization. The third category, conservative civilization. The predecessor of this civilization is often a technological expansion civilization or has a special physique. As a result, they do not need too many resources to maintain their survival. They often devote themselves to meaningless artistic pursuits. Just like the story of Captain Cook that I told you before. In the story, he met a magical fish. That fish should be a representative of a conservative civilization. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 257 Ancient Southerners. There are so many types of civilizations in the universe. Perhaps the unknown spacecraft flying to the Earth was launched by an advanced conservative civilization to explore the Earth or admire the culture on Earth. This idea made Liemo feel relieved. But it should be noted that the behavior of these three civilizations is only relative. It does not mean that after a civilization becomes a conservative civilization, it will not invade other planets. The big-headed Pajero man seemed to have insight into what Liemo was thinking and continued. Because the meaning of civilization is survival and reproduction, the limited living space in the universe determines that the only way out for civilization is to break out of the mother planet and colonize the surrounding planets. Hearing this, Liemo became nervous again. Can't there be a kind civilization in the universe? As for the question you raised, I can explain it with the usual practice of the Pajero people. The universe is very large, and there are not many planets that are really worth the Pajero people's energy to invade, and there are even fewer of these invaded planets that are intelligent. The big-headed Pajero man slowed down his speech. Since the first primitive human set his eyes on the twinkling stars in the night sky millions of years ago, humans have been full of interest in the mysterious space. In ancient times, when technology was scarce, in order to explore the starry sky, China established the Imperial Astronomical Observatory, and there were astrologers in the West. In modern times, when humans have the ability to step into space, they have launched several space probes. So far, humans have explored a vast area of about 100 light years. Unfortunately, even simple life does not exist in such a large area. So although the universe is large, there are not many planets with intelligent life. This has long been deeply felt by humans on Earth. There is such a planet recorded in the history of Pajero. Its name is Gunangsing, located in the Pajero extragalactic system. The core of Gunangsing is rich in cobalt-36, which is an excellent space insulation material. When the Pajero civilization discovered this planet, the buds of wisdom had already appeared on Gunangsing. They are a multi-limbed carbon-based animal, which was already in the early stage of level 1 civilization at that time. Let's call them Gunan people. The big-headed Pajero continued to preach. Let's call them the Gunan people. Liemo has already vaguely felt the fate of this intelligent creature. Faced with the Pajero spacecraft that fell from the sky, the Gunan people were full of fear. After a brief resistance with primitive firearms, they declared their surrender to the Pajero civilization. Gunan Star is the first planet with intelligent creatures invaded by the Pajero civilization. There was a disagreement in the Pajero Academy on how to deal with this intelligent creature. Some people think that the planet should be completely cleaned like an ordinary planet. The word clean used by the big-headed Pajero people made Liemo feel a chill in his heart. Those poor creatures were washed away by soap-like bacteria. He did not speak, but chose to listen quietly. Another group of people believe that intelligent creatures are gifts from the universe. As a civilization, we should have, or for the universe, so we should let the Gunan people live peacefully on the Gunan Star without affecting resource collection. Due to the huge differences between the two sides, the Academy of Sciences finally adopted the approach of maintaining the status quo, that is, ignoring the Gunan people. Then the Pajero people issued a notice to the Gunan officials, strictly prohibiting the Gunan people from entering the mining area, and any Gunan people who appeared in the mining area would be executed on the spot. Robbery. This is a complete robbery. A robber ran to the owner's house and asked the family not to interfere with his stealing. However, there was no shame in the tone of the big-headed Pajero man. Maybe this is the law of the jungle. Liemo tried his best to suppress the anger in his heart. In the following hundreds of years, the mining troops of the Pajero people lived in harmony with the Gunan people. Some bold Gunan people even ran to the top of the mountain secretly to watch the rise and fall of the Pajero transport ships. We Pajero people have always been very generous to such behavior that does not affect mining. At this point, the big-headed Pajero paused and asked, I mentioned the concept of the Big Bang of Wisdom before. Do you remember? Liemo nodded. There were also speculations about the Big Bang of Wisdom on Earth. Humans, as an intelligent creature, appeared on Earth millions of years ago, but at that time, humans could only be regarded as an animal that could use simple tools. The real human civilization has only a history of thousands of years. Some scientists speculate that it was more than 5,000 years ago that the Big Bang of wisdom occurred, and humans stepped into civilized society from primitive tribes. In modern times, a large number of outstanding scientists suddenly emerged, and steam engines, internal combustion engines, electromagnetism, and computer science developed rapidly, and humans got rid of farming, and officially entered the modern civilization era. Looking back at history, it can be found that the development of human technology is not a smooth curve. At a certain time, science and technology will advance by leaps and bounds. Some scholars call this phenomenon the Big Explosion of Wisdom. The big-headed Pajero went on to say, the Big Bang of Wisdom is also one of the ultimate mysteries of the universe. No one can predict when it will happen. No one can guess to what extent it will push the technology of intelligent creatures. During the hundreds of years of peaceful coexistence, the Gunan people were lucky to have a Big Bang of Wisdom. Unfortunately, the Pajero mining troops at that time still stayed on Gunan Star. The Gunan people's technology has advanced by leaps and bounds. In just a few hundred years, they have mastered the technology of matter annihilation, nuclear fusion, and have the ability to step into space. They even opened up a nearby asteroid as a colony planet. With the development of technology, the Gunan people gradually lost their awe of the Pajero people entrenched on their mother planet. Some radical Gunan people began to call for the official to tear up the peace agreement with Pajero. They could not tolerate the core of the mother planet being taken away bit by the Pajero transport ships. After decades of research, the cautious Gunan officials believed that they had fully understood the strength of the Pajero people. One morning, as a high condensation bomb fell on the mining base, hundreds of years of peace on Gunan Star were broken. In just a few tens of minutes, thousands of bombs razed the Pajero mining base on Gunan Star to the ground. But when their ground forces happily checked the results of the battle, they found that there was no Pajero in the ruins of the mining base. At this time, the Pajero Star-class battleships that covered the sky appeared above Gunan Star, because as early as when the first voice against Pajero colonization appeared among the Gunan people, the entire Gunan Star was monitored by the Pajero spy satellites at all times. Ridiculous Gunan people, pathetic Gunan people. The explosion of wisdom has made it possible for the Gunan people to threaten the Pajero people in the future. Due to the constraints of the peace treaty, the Pajero Academy of Sciences is worried that it has no excuse to send troops. But because of their arrogance and stupidity, they delivered it to the door. The war ended in just 24 hours. No, it cannot be called a war, because war requires an opponent. The extremely backward weapons of the Gunan people are of no use in front of the Pajero Star-class battleships. After saying this, the big-headed Pajero man stopped. So what happened to those ancient people? Although Liemo knew the outcome of the war between low-level and high-level civilizations, he couldn't help asking. Of course, from then on, there will no longer be any ancient people's DNA in the entire ancient planet, not even a DNA fragment. The big-headed Pajero man answered without emotion. Poor ancient people, is this the portrayal of the future of Earthlings? Liemo fell into deep thought. Chapter 258 Battery Factory. You can ask the second question now. Just as Liemo was still immersed in the story just now, the big-headed Pajero reminded him. Liemo, who was lost in thought, woke up. Yes, he still had a chance to ask questions. Excuse me, is it possible for a low-level civilization to defeat a high-level civilization? Liemo felt that he had lost his patience and asked directly. Grey fog rolled on the platform. It is possible. There have been countless wars in the universe where low-level civilizations defeated high-level civilizations. The big-headed Pajero gave an answer that surprised Liemo. What method did they use? Liemo asked eagerly. He was eager to know if there was any way to deal with the upcoming guests. I'm sorry, the answer to this question violates the general rules of the law of cosmic civilization. I refuse to answer. A cold answer came from the platform. Liemo, who had always been civilized, couldn't help but swear. The platform was completely shrouded in grey fog, and no sound came from it. Liemo knew that no matter how he pressed the big-headed Pajero man, he would not get an answer to the question he refused to answer. Beep beep beep, new task released. Task, who else but me? Explanation. As a super student, how can I miss the most famous scientific award on earth, the Nobel Prize? Requirements. Win the Nobel Prize. Reward. 200,000 subject experience points, 1 ordinary lottery. Time limit. 365 days. Accept. Yes/no. The new task made Liemo very happy. For this passive task, he chose to accept it without hesitation. The Nobel Prize has a special meaning for the Chinese. The annual award ceremony can attract great attention in China, but there are only 2 people who have won the Nobel Prize with Chinese nationality, and they won the Nobel Prize in Medicine and the Nobel Prize in Literature. China has long become the second country in terms of comprehensive strength on the earth. These few winners are completely incompatible with China's strength. No wonder the Nobel Prize ceremony every year always triggers sour complaints from the domestic media. In fact, although there are many Nobel Prizes, the only truly authoritative ones are the Physics Prize, the Chemistry Prize, and the Physiology or Medicine Prize. As for the Nobel Prize in Literature and the Peace Prize, they often cause great controversy, because the award criteria are too subjective. Knock, knock, knock. A knock on the door interrupted Liemo's dream. Boss, the second phase of the battery factory project has been completed. According to the plan, you need to inspect it in person before you can start work. It was Zhang Xiaoli who pushed the door open. Her professional suit made her figure look particularly slim. After a period of experience, she has completely adapted to the role of secretary. Noticing that Liemo's eyes were looking her up and down, Zhang Xiaoli's face flew a few red clouds, and she lowered her head again. Alas, Liemo sighed silently in his heart. I still haven't changed my shyness. He retracted his gaze and nodded to indicate that he already knew. Before going to the factory, he had another important thing to do. When Zhang Xiaoli left the office, Liemo went to the real laboratory upstairs through the coded star map behind him. Welcome back, Master. With a crisp voice, the lights came on one after another. Liemo went straight to the computer and said, Xiaohe, generate a copy program for the second phase of the battery factory. This copy program should only have observation permissions. Master, please wait. A few minutes later, the crisp voice sounded again. Xiaohe, Master, the copy program has been completed. Liemo took out an encrypted USB flash drive and copied the copy program into the USB flash drive. After doing this, he thought for a while and said, Xiaohe, analyze the operation of the first phase of the battery factory. Master, the operation of the first phase of the battery factory is being analyzed. Please wait. The indicator light behind the cabinet kept flashing. After a while, Master, the analysis is completed. According to the analysis, the current load of the first phase of the factory is 105%, and the yield rate is 95%. To avoid accidents, Xiaohe recommends reducing the load. Xiaohe's crisp voice came from the speaker. Liemo nodded. Due to the current shortage of marking batteries, in order to meet orders, the first phase of the factory had to work overtime. According to the analysis, the financial health of the first phase of the factory is 99.96%, and no adverse financial events have been found. Xiaohe continued to report 99.96% of the financial situation is perfect. Liemo felt that he might have underestimated Xiaoqing's ability. He didn't expect that a girl who was a bodyguard could manage a large modern factory in an orderly manner. Xiaohe, enter standby mode. Liemo gently put the USB flash drive into his pocket. The USB flash drive contains a copy program split by the artificial intelligence Xiaohe. He will implant this copy program into the host of the second phase factory, so that he can know it at the first time if any situation occurs in the factory. The first phase factory has been implanted with the same program. Through the analysis and early warning of artificial intelligence Xiaohe and Liemo's timely intervention, several accidents have been avoided in the battery factory. Yangjiao, Marxing Technology Phase Second Factory. When Liemo opened the car door, Xiaoqing, dressed in a professional suit, had already come to greet him. Her big black eyes were inlaid with a clear spring. Liemo felt a sense of bitterness in his heart. This young girl was running around all day for her big plan. According to the secret report of artificial intelligence Xiaohe, Xiaoqing had not slept for 3 consecutive days and nights for work. Since she took over Marxing Technology, she has never taken a day off. Even after returning to the laboratory to report on her work, she would rush back to Marxing Technology. You've worked hard. Liemo looked at the tired face at this time, but didn't know what to say. Boss, I thought you forgot about Xiaoqing, the general manager of the company, who led tens of thousands of employees, showed a bit of girlish temperament at this time. The subordinates behind her turned their heads away. How could it be? When the factory is on the right track, I will appoint a professional manager to manage the factory, Liemo said with a smile. He didn't say this to appease Xiaoqing. In fact, it was his plan to find a professional talent to manage the factory. After all, he couldn't bear to put this heavy burden on the tender shoulders of a girl. Really? Xiaoqing wiped her tears and asked with her little face raised. Really? Liemo nodded sincerely. Xiaoqing finally burst into laughter. Boss, let's go visit the second phase of the factory and see how I'm doing. As she spoke, she walked with Liemo to a new energy shuttle. Due to the confidentiality of the factory, no vehicles are allowed to enter. Facing the factory area of dozens of square kilometers, a shuttle bus is needed. Zhang Xiaoli followed them and got on the shuttle bus. Boss, this is a warehouse area. The security adopts 24-hour no dead angle monitoring, infrared sensor alarm, and the security team recruits some veterans. Xiaoqing introduced. While driving the shuttle bus, Liemo looked ahead and saw several bunker-shaped buildings. Dozens of high-definition cameras were scattered on the top of the bunker. There were 4 sentry boxes distributed beside the road, and from time to time, mobile sentries appeared in the alleys. As expected of a bodyguard, the security work is done well, he praised sincerely. The battery manufacturing workshop is in front, and every employee in the workshop has signed a confidentiality agreement. Xiaoqing introduced. Let's go to the workshop and take a look, Liemo suggested. According to the design of the factory, battery manufacturing adopts fully automatic control. Marxing Technology Company New Energy Battery Factory Workshop 51. A bronze nameplate was hung at the door of the workshop. The first phase of the factory has 50 workshops, and the number of workshops in the second phase of the factory starts from 51. Xiaoqing explained as she walked forward and gently pressed her fingerprint on a glass screen with a flashing cursor. This is a fingerprint recognition system. Fingerprint verification passed. Now for face comparison. A mechanical voice came from behind the screen. Face comparison passed. Name, Xiaoqing. Position, General Manager. Authority, Level 8. Allow entry. The electric glass door slid open silently. Liemo was about to follow through the glass door when an alarm sounded. The visitor has not been verified. Please authenticate first. The glass door quickly closed. Boss Xiaoqing inside the glass door shouted something anxiously, but Liemo couldn't hear clearly through the thick glass door. It should be that everyone needs to verify their identity, and he put his index finger on the identifier. Fingerprint verification failed. A mechanical voice came from behind the screen. Liemo looked at his finger in confusion. As the boss of the company, he couldn't get in. He tried to put his index finger on the identifier again. Fingerprint verification passed. Now face recognition. This is correct. Liemo sighed softly. Face comparison passed. Name, Li. Position, unknown. Authority level 9. The electric glass door opened again. Boss, I was negligent. Xiaoqing was relieved to see Liemo come in smoothly. But a little doubt also took root in Xiaoqing's heart. The security system was her direct responsibility. Since the boss was not directly responsible for factory affairs, she did not enter Liemo's name into the authority list. But why could the boss still pass the security system smoothly now? Could it be that the security system was wrong? Or thought came to her mind. Xiaoqing shook her head. This was impossible. This system was made by the security bureau and its safety was beyond doubt. She saw the boss looking at the neatly arranged mechanical arms with curiosity and had to temporarily suppress her doubts. This is the latest industrial robot of Wujiang Robotics. Its efficiency and accuracy are far higher than those of ordinary workers. Xiaoqing took the initiative to introduce. Liemo nodded with satisfaction. With the development of science and technology, it is an inevitable trend for industrial robots to replace ordinary workers. However, there is still a fatal weakness in the commercialization of robots. That is, the price is too high. How much budget did these industrial robots cost? He asked. The original price was 1 billion, but after a friendly negotiation between us and Wang Tao, the boss of Wujiang, the final price was 850 million. Xia King replied. The total price of 1 billion was cut to 850 million. Li Mo did not think that Wujiang Robotics would offer a sky-high price in the face of such a large order. There was only one reason, that is, Xia King once again demonstrated her bargaining skills. You did a good job. This was the umpteenth time that Li Mo had praised her today. A red cloud climbed up Xia King's fair cheeks. This is the main machine room of the factory. After a quick tour, they came to a large metal door. Li Mo knocked on the door gently with his hand, but there was no sound. So thick, it's comparable to a bank. He was surprised by the thickness of the metal door, but when he thought that this controlled the operation of the entire factory, it naturally needed strict protection, so he felt relieved. Because of confidentiality, Xia King had just said half of her words. Li Mo had already placed his finger on the fingerprint reader next to the metal door. A few red lights flashed, and the metal door slowly opened automatically. Xia King was stunned. According to the security system settings, the biometrics of 2 executives with level 8 permissions must be entered at the same time before this door can be opened. Now she is completely sure that there is something wrong with this security system. Wait outside. Li Mo closed the door from the inside. There are more than 10 2-meter high cabinets in the computer room, making a buzzing sound. The design here is the same as the previous factory. Li Mo walked to the deepest part of the computer room with ease, where an orange-red computer was placed. He took out the USB flash drive from his pocket and inserted it into the interface on the back of the chassis. Xia 2.0 is being written. Please wait. Writing completed. Li Mo unplugged the USB drive and said to the air, Xia. In the corner of the dim computer room, a red dot appeared. It was a camera installed on the wall. The camera slowly turned. The lens looked directly at Li Mo, who was looking up, and the red indicator light flashed twice regularly. Mission accomplished. Chapter 259 Accidentally graduated again. Student Li Mo, based on your excellent grades, the Academic Affairs Office of the Graduate School of Yanda University has decided to handle your graduation procedures in advance. After a few days of leisure, Li Mo opened his email in the morning and saw an email signed by the Graduate School of Yanda University. Graduation with a doctorate? Why didn't Professor Wu notify me? Can I graduate in less than a year? Don't I have to defend my thesis? Countless thoughts flooded his mind. If it weren't for the electronic seal at the end of this email, he would have suspected that this was a prank. China has always adopted a policy of lenient entry and strict exit for the highest degree of doctoral degree. Master students can study for a doctorate after passing the exam, but to graduate, they need independent academic achievements. This has also led to the existence of countless deadbeat doctors in recent years. They have been unable to graduate because they have no papers to show. Since when has it been so easy to graduate with a doctorate at Yanda University? Li Mo thought for a moment. He was sure that he had not made any application or submitted a paper. With this thought in mind, he found the office phone number of the graduate school from his mobile phone. Hello, I'm Li Mo, a doctoral student of Professor Wu, he said politely on the phone. Hello, Professor Li Mo. This is the Graduate School of Yanda University. A pleasant voice came from the phone. Dr. Li Mo, Professor Li Mo. The confusing names made him not know how to start, and he sorted out his thoughts a little. Li Mo asked, I want to ask, what's the matter with the graduation application? I haven't submitted a graduation application. Please wait, I'll check for you. There was a flipping sound on the phone. It's like this, your advisor Professor Wu helped you submit the application. After the review of the graduate school, you have met the requirements for graduation. The staff on the phone gave the answer. Professor Wu? Li Mo took the microphone, and he remembered that he hadn't seen his teacher for a long time. Professor Li, when are you free? Come and handle the procedures. The staff urged on the phone. Hello, are you listening? Hello. Li Mo hung up the phone gently. Why did the teacher drive him away? Could it be that Professor Wu was angry because he didn't go to class? Li Mo has a special feeling for this mentor. It was his mentor who brought him from Mengcheng No. 1 High School to Yanda University, and the tragic experience of his mentor's son deeply hurt Li Emo's heart. With an uneasy mood, Li Emo came to the office of Professor Wu of the Department of Mathematics. Gently pushing open the door, several doctoral students were surrounding Professor Wu's desk, as if discussing something. Seeing him come in, Professor Wu seemed to have met a savior. Li Emo is here, and there is a number theory problem that everyone can't understand. Li Emo saw that Professor Wu's expression did not seem to be angry, and he felt much more relaxed and walked to the desk. The doctoral students who were surrounding him made way for a seat. It's this problem. It is said that it was circulated by Ivy League schools abroad. Take a look. Professor Wu pointed to the straw paper on the table and said, "What is the special relationship between the natural numbers 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, and 10,000? What kind of question is this? 100 is 10 times 10. 1000 is 10 times 100. They are in a multiple relationship. No. What is required in the question is a special relationship. This is a divergent question." Li Emo has always hated this kind of divergent question, because divergent questions are like brain teasers, and the results are usually unexpected. In recent years, this kind of question has become popular in the mathematics community, as if doing these questions will make students thinking divergent. In fact, as long as the question is designed by humans, it will inevitably be constrained by the results. So in Li Emo's view, this kind of divergent question is just a trick. Divergent. Divergent, he frowned, trying to guess the intention of the questioner. Since the decimal system doesn't work, what about binary? The binary of 10 is 1010, the binary of 100 is 1,100,100, and the binary of 1000 is 1,111,101,000. Binary is possible. Then what about pentadic system? The quinary system of 10, 100, 1000, 10,000 is 20, 400, 13,000, 310,000. 11,200,000. Li Emo's eyes lit up. Isn't this a corollary of the Beatty-Rayleigh theorem? Thinking of this, Li Emo picked up a pencil and wrote on the paper, the relationship between them is any positive integer n, 1. There is exactly one number in the last two sequences that is n digit. Seeing him pick up the pen, Professor Wu and the doctoral students gathered around. When they saw the conclusion on the paper, they suddenly realized it and exclaimed, "Brother Li Emo, you are really amazing. We have been discussing this problem for a whole morning, and I didn't expect you to solve it in just a few minutes." A classmate said in admiration, "I admire you, I admire you." Professor Wu's face was full of smiles. Sometimes he really wanted to dissect the head of this genius student, to see what made him so smart. "Teacher, we are leaving first." After solving the problem, these doctoral students saw that the big boss had something to say to the professor, so they tactfully said goodbye. After all the doctoral students left the office, Li Emo took the initiative to get up and close the door. "You, the future richest man in the world, how come you have time to visit me, an old man, today?" Professor Wu said in a gloomy tone. Sure enough, the teacher was just considering my face. Li Emo smiled and said, "The student has been busy with marking technology and neglected his studies. Please punish me, teacher." Hearing Li Emo's answer, Professor Wu was speechless for a moment. Although the student did not appear in the classroom on time, the marking battery he invented has become the most promising new energy battery to replace traditional energy. Perhaps in a few decades, this student's status in the academic world can be compared with Faraday and Tesla. For such a genius student, is there really any reason to criticize? You. Professor Wu had to pretend to be angry. What the teacher taught is that students must pay attention. Li Emo said with a smile, and then changed the subject. "I just learned that the teacher submitted the application for doctoral graduation on my behalf." Professor Wu slowly sat down and picked up the teacup. "Yes, I submitted the application for you." Seeing the teacher's calm expression, Li Emo did not know whether to laugh or cry. "I haven't even finished my doctorate for a year. How can I graduate?" Professor Wu put down the teacup and looked straight at him. "Why don't you want to graduate? According to your level, you can actually skip the doctoral stage directly." At the beginning, I accepted you as a doctoral student out of kindness and endured the humiliation. I didn't expect that you would become more and more outrageous. Not to mention becoming a visiting professor. You also proposed a limo atomic fusion theory that is worthy of being written into the history of science. Professor Wu became more and more excited and stood up from his chair. You have now been promoted to a first-line scientist in the international academic community. How could I, old Wu, have such a student? Now I dare not even attend international academic conferences because I'm afraid that my colleagues will ask, old Wu, please say hello to your doctoral student for me. After saying that, Professor Wu sat back in his chair heavily. Liemo was stunned. He did not expect that his fame would bring such great pressure to his teacher. He originally wanted to get by for another year in the doctoral stage, but it seems that it is not possible. I wonder if the graduate school has doctoral uniforms for rent? Liemo said with a smile. Professor Wu also turned his anger into a smile. I have a set of hidden suits. Do you want them? Liemo shook his head. Teacher is so fat, I'm afraid that it will look like a sheet when I put it on. Professor Wu. In the end, Liemo borrowed a set of doctoral uniforms from the enthusiastic staff of the graduate school. He came to the front of the library and asked a student passing by to take a photo of him. I graduated again accidentally. Finally, this photo was put on his Weibo with this sentence. Just a few seconds after the post was published, it received comments. This is too fake. It's not graduation season at all. Liar. Liemo was immediately at a loss for words. He didn't expect that the first comment on this photo was from a netizen who didn't know him, and he said he was a liar. Fortunately, there were netizens who knew him below, who kept clarifying for him. What the hell does the person above know? The person in the photo is a big shot. Does he need to fake a photo? Big Shot graduated so soon. I admire you. You should have graduated a long time ago. You put a lot of pressure on me as a doctoral student. This is the reaction of a normal person. Liemo smiled slightly and closed his Weibo, hiding countless achievements and fame. Chapter 260 Goodbye Chen Shuxian. Liemo returned to the office and took out a wooden box from the password cabinet. In the box were all his graduation certificates since kindergarten, and now he had a new doctoral degree certificate. He took out the bottom kindergarten graduation certificate, on which was a big head photo of a chubby boy with a watermelon head. So cute. Liemo had never seen such a smart and cute child. From the photo, he could vaguely feel that this child would be handsome and charming when he grows up, and he would fascinate thousands of girls. Next to the photo was the boy's name, Liemo, 6 years old, graduated from Mengcheng Chunshanhua Kindergarten. He stroked the photo with his hand and felt that time was flying. Yesterday he was still snatching apples from other children, and today he has graduated with a doctorate. The innocent days are gone forever. Beep beep beep, a phone ring interrupted his memories. Liemo took out his mobile phone. It was Zhang Xiaoli. Wasn't she interviewing interns in the laboratory? How did she have time to call him? Did she encounter any problems? Liemo quickly answered the phone. He was not very confident about this shy girl. Boss, the interview process went very smoothly. A total of 5 students were officially admitted. Zhang Xiaoli reported on the phone. However, there are still 2 strange students who are very eager to join our laboratory. Strange students, 2 more. He has already handed over the interview criteria to Zhang Xiaoli, and she is fully responsible for the interview. How can there still be undecided? Liemo frowned. Which 2 are they? One is a junior student in the Department of Biology. Although his character and IQ fully meet the requirements of the laboratory, he seems to have a disability. I rejected him at the time, but, Zhang Xiaoli said embarrassedly, she was not good at rejecting others. Biology department, disabled, Liemo asked. Is his name Lan Zichen? Oh. Boss, you know him. Zhang Xiaoli was very surprised. Liemo certainly knew Lan Zichen, but he didn't expect that he, who was gradually getting better, would take the initiative to ask to join the laboratory. Let's do this. Recruit him, but don't assign any tasks. Let him play freely. Liemo said on the phone. Although Lan Zichen's IQ is very high, his physical condition is not good. Okay, I'll take note of it. Zhang Xiaoli continued, there is another girl, a freshman in the Department of Literature. Her character is 9 points, but her IQ does not meet the requirements of the laboratory. I have clearly rejected her, but she did not give up. She waited at the door of the laboratory after class. Is there a girl with such a thick skin? Liemo turned on the monitor and cut the picture to the door. Sure enough, there was a girl in blue clothes at the door of the laboratory, walking with a book. Her strange behavior attracted the whispers of passing classmates. Perhaps she noticed the camera above her head turning, and the girl raised her head. She had a ponytail, a melon-shaped face, big eyes, and long eyelashes. Oh my god, it's Chen Shuxian. Liemo almost threw his phone out. Boss, what's wrong with you? Zhang Xiaoli on the other side of the phone noticed the abnormality here and asked with concern. It's okay. It's okay. Let's talk about this girl Chen Shu later. Liemo hung up the phone in a hurry. When he returned to high school to attend the school celebration, he learned that his childhood playmate, Chen Shuxian, had also been admitted to Yanda. After returning to Yanjing from Mengcheng, as a fellow villager and senior, Liemo should have invited this junior girl to dinner and expressed his concern, which was also the request of teacher Wang. But with the creation of Limo atomic fusion theory, the release of Marxing battery, and the establishment of Marxing technology, Liemo wished that his day had 48 hours, and he rarely appeared on the Yanjing campus, so he forgot about Chen Shuxian. Unexpectedly, she came to the door. I don't know when it started, but when he faced this girl, he always felt guilty. Was it when he was ridden in kindergarten? Liemo shook his head and looked at Chen Shuxian, who was wandering with a book at the door of the laboratory. He knew that this seemingly quiet girl had a stubborn temper. In junior high school, Chen Shuxian lived in a damp school dormitory for 3 years because of her mother's angry words. Recruit that girl and assign her the dirtiest and most tiring work. Liemo called Zhang Xiaoli and explained. Zhang Xiaoli was slightly startled when she received the boss's order. When she first entered the laboratory, the work assigned to her was the dirtiest and most tiring. Could it be that this girl? Thinking of this, Zhang Xiaoli frowned unconsciously. In the monitor screen, Chen Shuxian, who received the recruitment call, jumped up happily, her ponytail swinging up and down like a little wild horse. Just as he was staring at this picture in a daze, Xia King pushed open the door of the office. Liemo hurriedly turned off the monitor. He knew that Xia King came today to report the first month's performance. Boss, Marxing Technology sold a total of 600,000 Marxing batteries in the first month, with an estimated net profit of 650 million yuan. Biodex has sold 600,000 units, of which 200,000 were sold domestically, and 400,000 were sold overseas. Biod has transferred their net profit for this month, totaling 310 million yuan. Xia King answered with a report. With huge investment in the early stage, the net profit in the first month can still exceed 100 million yuan. Although Liemo was mentally prepared for the popularity of Marxing batteries, he did not expect such outstanding results. It seems that cross-civilization level technological products are unstoppable. He also did not expect that Bidex's sales abroad would be even greater than its sales in China. At the beginning, some foreign media were very dissatisfied with Bidex's pricing strategy and called on the public to boycott Bidex in the media. As a result, the boycott resulted in such a result, which made Liemo somewhat amused and helpless. Let the finance department issue a large bill of exchange of 100 million yuan, and I will personally return it to Mr. Ren Weihua. At the beginning, Mr. Ren lent him the funds to create the laboratory through a fake gambling agreement, and now it is time to return it. Moreover, he will return it in person. Then, take out 10 million as a special fund for employee benefits, set up a gym and a nutrition restaurant within the company, and invite professional fitness trainers and nutritionists to join. In the future, each employee will need no less than 30 minutes of fitness time every day, and then there will be professional nutrition recipes. Employees of the laboratory and Marxing Technology can enjoy this treatment. Jing once fainted suddenly in the laboratory, which made Liemo realize that a healthy body is the capital of work. Although he constantly asked his employees not to work overtime, the lights in the laboratory remained on all night when the tasks were busy. Chapter 261 The Power of Technology. WeHo mobile phone, WeHo mobile phone experience store, WeHo mobile phone flagship store. Through the car window, Liemo found that many WeHo mobile phone stores suddenly appeared on both sides of the street. According to the financial statements sent by WeHo company in the past 2 months, WeHo mobile phones have occupied 70% of the world's mobile phone market share, and this share has reached 90% in the field of high-end mobile phones. Once WeHo stock was listed, it experienced a crazy 30 consecutive daily limits, and its market value has jumped to the 5th place in the world. He found that, if he sold all the WeHo stocks in his hands, he might become the man with the most cash in the world. Will Leo Ren hope that I can't pay back this money because the stock is going to soar? A funny idea suddenly emerged in Liemo's mind. He drove the Bidex to the entrance of the garage of the building. Just as he was about to stop the car to show his ID to the security guard in the garage, he didn't expect the boom to rise directly. "Director Lee, welcome back to WeHo." The young security guard saluted with a standard military salute. "Young man, do you know me?" Although Liemo knew that he was a little famous, he didn't know that the security guards knew him. "Yes, your portrait was hung in the lobby of the company by General Manager Ren. Not only me, but every WeHo person knows you." The young man replied with a smile. "Hanging my portrait? What kind of trick is this?" Liemo was a little stunned. WeHo headquarters has reserved special parking spaces for directors. Although Liemo rarely appears in the company, the administrative department still reserves a parking space near the elevator for him. Through the elevator in the garage, I came to the office area on the 12th floor. Unlike some large companies that deliberately arrange the offices of executives and ordinary employees on different floors, WeHo company has specially selected an entire floor as the main office area, and General Manager Ren's office is also in this area. Liemo once curiously asked Ren why he wanted to stay with ordinary employees. Ren's answer was, "What a big company fears most is to be infected with big company disease. Once the top management is high up and gradually separated from the masses, it will gradually decline." "Director Lee, you are here." "Hello, Director Lee." Liemo walked out of the elevator, and WeHo employees in the corridor greeted him. Sure enough, the young man did not lie. "My portrait must have been hung in the hall, otherwise I would not be recognized by so many people." Liemo gently pushed open the door of the office. Ren was wearing glasses and reviewing materials. When he saw him come in, he put down his pen. "Why are you so free today?" There was no assistant in the office. Ren stood up and poured 2 glasses of water. Liemo took the cup, took out a check from his bag, and gently pushed it over. "I'll pay you back." "Wow, you've made 100 million in less than half a year." Mr. Ren was not surprised, but said with some regret, "If I had known you were researching batteries, I would have participated in it no matter what. The Marxing battery developed by your laboratory will have a profound impact on the global power structure if nothing unexpected happens. It's okay in China. Our car engine level is average. If we switch to new energy, everyone will be on the same starting line. But for those foreign car companies, Marxing batteries are tantamount to cutting off the firewood from the bottom of the pot. They are losing a lot now." Liemo smiled slightly. This is exactly why he chose to get involved in the new energy industry. Those old developed countries, relying on the technical barriers built in the early days, control 70% of the sales volume of the world's automobile industry and account for 85% of the profits. If you blindly follow them and imitate them, it is easy to cause patent disputes, and you will never be able to surpass them. The new energy vehicle industry is different. This is a brand new industry, and everyone is on the same starting line. This is also the reason why China will advocate overtaking on the curve. Mr. Ren gently put the check into the folder and said with concern, "Recently, several car companies in Japan and country M are preparing to unite and sue Marxing technology for price discrimination." Liemo nodded. "Let them sue. If they lose, the overseas price of Marxing batteries will remain the same. If they win, we at Marxing Technology will reduce the quota for developed countries to the current 1% within 5 years. He was mentally prepared for the trouble caused by price discrimination, and Marxing Technology has hired a professional team of lawyers. According to international practice, Marxing Technology's individual pricing does not violate the laws of any country, but Liemo never believes that those big capitalists will abide by the rules of the game. Therefore, in addition to the patent barrier, an encryption module is also installed inside the Marxing battery. Any attempt to damage the appearance of the battery will cause the entire battery to be scrapped. 1%? Mr. Ren said in surprise, and then burst into laughter. He has completely understood the reason. Those countries will never give up using Marxing batteries. Liemo's approach is equivalent to putting a tight ring on them. Is this the power of technology? Ren said enviously. In order to develop more advanced chips, WeHo's chip factory must purchase equipment from abroad. But such purchases are often deliberately made difficult. So now, although WeHo has a huge amount of funds, it has no place to use them. Liemo saw Ren's expression, and his heart moved. He took the initiative to ask, has WeHo encountered difficulties? Ren nodded with a serious expression. The chip is stuck at 7 nm, and has not been broken through. A batch of optical devices we ordered were seized by them again. Liemo knew who Ren was referring to by they. In recent years, due to WeHo's hard work in the chip field, WeHo chips have occupied half of the low-end and mid-end chips. This has caused dissatisfaction among foreign chip industry giants, who often have huge influence in the local area. Chips are the crystallization of human wisdom. Most high-end equipment adopts a joint research and development method, so that the best suppliers can be found all over the world, including optical devices, mechanical devices, etc. Therefore, WeHo's high-end chip road is particularly difficult. Due to the lack of the most advanced equipment, WeHo can only produce some low-end chips, which is a huge blow to Mr. Ren, who is determined to enter the high-end market. If you can't beat them, join them. Liemo took a sip of water and asked tentatively. The latest news report said that a foreign chip giant is interested in investing in WeHo. With the addition of foreign capital, WeHo will be under much less pressure. Mr. Ren shook his head without hesitation. Don't you understand what they are up to? Once WeHo allows those capital tycoons to join, they can buy up WeHo's stocks in the secondary market, and eventually we will lose the controlling rights of the company. By then, the final result will inevitably be that WeHo will be frozen out by them. Liemo nodded continuously. In recent years, foreign capital giants have relied on their strong capital and waved their money to make large premium acquisitions in China. For example, Zhanhua toothpaste, which once occupied half of the country's toothpaste production, has a pitiful market share after being acquired by foreign capital. There are also the former civilian cosmetics, Little Nurse and Dabao, whose sinking is also due to foreign capital. When multinational groups acquire a domestic brand, it does not necessarily mean that they are optimistic about the brand's future. It is more of a defensive acquisition to prevent the brand from snatching market share from them in the future. So after the acquisition, the brand will be gradually put on ice. Chapter 262 Shortcut. Is there no way to bypass the photolithography machine in chip manufacturing? Liemo asked doubtfully. He used Marxing batteries to bypass the technical barriers of fuel engines that took hundreds of years to build abroad. Perhaps the same shortcuts exist in the chip industry. Mr. Ren smiled bitterly and shook his head. Electronic computer technology is extremely mature. It is not easy to overthrow and rebuild it. At this point, he paused and frowned and said, there is a way, that is, to develop quantum computers. But the development of the quantum field is very slow now, and it is still in the theoretical stage. Quantum computers will be a substitute for electronic computers. Liemo is not surprised by this view. Modern electronic computers use binary system to process information, that is, 1 and 0. The smallest unit of the computer is the bit. Because the computer is binary, this bit is either 1 or 0, and there is no other option. In a quantum computer, any microscopic particle or quantum is in a superposition of multiple states before being observed. That is, microscopic particles and quantum cannot be determined before being observed. Then in the computer's information processing, the existence of a bit as a quantum cannot be determined before it is observed. That is, the bit may be 1, 0, or both 1 and 0 before it is observed. Assuming a memory with n physical bits, if it is an electronic computer memory, it can only store any one of 2 n possible data. If it is a quantum computer memory, it can store to carry n numbers at the same time, and as n increases, its ability to store information will increase exponentially. In short, the computing power of quantum computers is much stronger than that of electronic computers. But why has such an excellent computer not been commercialized on a large scale? The main reason is that humans have not found suitable particles as the computing core of quantum chips. Large scientific research laboratories at home and abroad began to try to manufacture quantum computers many years ago, but so far, only a few have produced semi-finished products. For example, at CES in 2019, IBM announced the launch of the world's first quantum computer, IBM Q System 1, but the reality is that this quantum computer is as big as an elephant and its computing power is not as good as a netbook. Some media pointed out mercilessly, quantum computing systems like Q System 1 are still experimental. When it comes to real-life calculations, your laptop may be more powerful. That's why Mr. Ren has so little confidence in the research of quantum computers. Let's not talk about this. Do you have any new goals in your laboratory? He saw Liemo lost in thought and asked proactively. Liemo smiled slightly. I didn't have it before, but now I have it. Just now, Liemo had a flash of inspiration and thought of a solution to the core of quantum computing. What is it? Mr. Ren asked eagerly. Keep it confidential. Liemo replied. His idea is still just an idea, and the specifics still need to be verified by theory. Mr. Ren, who was rejected by him, did not show any anger, because he knew that the young man in front of him was full of too many strange ideas. How good it would be if he insisted on investing in Mosey Technology Laboratory at that time. Mr. Ren felt that this was his biggest mistake in the business field in recent years. Mr. Ren, I still have things to do, so I won't stay any longer. With a new goal, Liemo did not stop for a moment and went straight to the laboratory. He wanted to verify his ideas through mathematical calculations. Boss, you're back. Zhang Xiaoli was tidying up the office. Seeing him come back, she took the initiative to greet him. Well, notify the official members of the laboratory to come to my office for a short meeting. Liemo sat on the chair and took a sip of tea. Before the retreat, he needed to arrange the work content of the laboratory. After a while, Jingjing, the Ibag trio, brother Zhao Dafeng, and two newly joined experimenters Wang Xiaochuan and Liu Lei came to the office one after another. Boss, is there a new project? Jingjing asked eagerly when she stepped into the office. The Marxing battery has been mass-produced, which makes her bored. Liemo shook his head. He didn't want anyone to know his plan before the mathematical calculation verification was completed. Jingjing's face was gloomy. Everyone was already there, and Liemo said, let's start arranging the tasks for the next period of time. Jingjing, Liu Mingru, Liu Heio, Liu Zuanshan, you will optimize the Marxing battery for the second time in the next period of time. Liemo has a problem that he has never understood. Obviously, the Marxing battery is based on the wreckage of an alien battery. Why is the performance so different? He had tested that only half of the energy storage space of the alien battery was intact, but it could store 300 kWh of electricity. However, the Marxing battery of the same volume currently produced can only store 200 kWh of electricity. Do you need to optimize it? Our batteries are already far superior to ordinary batteries. Liu Mingru asked with his hand raised. Before the mass production of Marxing batteries, they had already optimized it once. And in his opinion, in the absence of competitors, continuous optimization is a waste of resources. Although the current Marxing battery is sufficient for the use of cars, trucks, excavators, and even heavy mining machinery, what if I want to install it on a rocket? After finally copying an alien technology product, Liemo felt unwilling if he could not bring out its full strength. Rocket? The Ibag trio widened their eyes. Boss wants to make a rocket? Metaphor. Liemo was also helpless about this mechanical idiot. It's just a metaphor, you know. In short, I think there is still huge potential in Marxing batteries that has not been tapped. The Ibag trio nodded and accepted the task. Zhao Dafeng, Wang Xiaochuan and Liu Lei, your task is to study the quantum algorithms that are currently appearing in the world. Liemo continued. Wang Xiaochuan graduated with a PhD in mathematics from Princeton, and Liu Lei is a postdoctoral fellow in information science at Columbia University. They are all talents recruited by Liemo through Yanda University. Quantum algorithm? Zhao Dafeng hesitated. He was just a math dog. If he was proficient in computer programming, he would have entered those internet giants long ago. Why did he have to work so hard in the mathematics department for so many years? But he nodded, because he was used to obeying orders. Liu Lei showed joy on his face. He had been dazed in the laboratory for half a month, eating a customized diet every day, and having a special fitness coach. People who didn't know the truth thought he was in a sanatorium. Now it was finally time for him to show his skills. Wang Xiaochuan, like Zhao Dafeng, was confused. I ask you to focus on algorithms, not grammar. Liemo urged. The reason why he arranged 2 mathematics doctors to study quantum algorithms was that the essence of computer programs is programming algorithm ideas, not grammar. The foundation of algorithmic thinking is mathematics. Okay, let's adjourn the meeting. Liemo likes to hold short meetings. Zhao Dafeng, do you have anything else to say? Just as everyone was about to leave, Zhao Dafeng slowly raised his hand again. Boss, thank you. Zhao Dafeng bowed deeply to Liemo. Jingjing, who was standing by, was stunned. She didn't expect that the nerd who always seemed honest would be so good at flattering. Brother, what are you doing? Liemo asked in confusion. In his impression, he didn't do anything special for this brother. Thank you for the special bonus. Zhao Dafeng's eyes were wet. I used the bonus and my savings for many years to buy a house in a real estate project in Yanjiao. My girlfriend who I have been in love with for many years finally decided to marry me. It turned out that it was because of the bonus. After developing the Marxing battery, Liemo decided to award each member of the laboratory a special bonus of 1 million. At that time, Xia King believed that Zhao Dafeng, as a candidate mathematician, did not play a particularly important role in the research process, and the bonus should be halved. But at Liemo's request, Zhao Dafeng still received the full 1 million bonus. I feel guilty about this 1 million bonus. Zhao Dafeng sobbed, but I really need this money. My girlfriend and I have been in love for 10 years, but my mother-in-law requires us not to get married without a house. But how can I afford a house in Yanjing with my meager allowance? I used the 1 million bonus and my savings over the years to finally pay the down payment outside the 8th ring. Outside the 8th ring? Liemo asked in confusion. How much is a house? 3.1 million. Zhao Dafeng took the tissue Jingjing handed over and wiped his tears. What percentage is a down payment? Liemo asked. 30%. Zhao Dafeng replied 3.1 million house price, 30% down payment, that is 1.03 million. Zhao Dafeng's savings over the years is only 30,000? Your savings over the years is only 30,000? Liemo asked in disbelief. Zhao Dafeng shook his head and corrected him. It's 30,600 yuan, and I still have 6,000 yuan. Liemo shook his head helplessly. Those who study computer science can do programming part-time and create a popular program and maybe become the next Bill Gates. Those who study chemistry can go to the research institute to be experimental dogs and have enough food and clothing. Only those who study mathematics can only wait to get a fixed salary. Chapter 263 Double Slit Interference. I'm in seclusion. No calls or visits. Please don't disturb me. After sending the group text message, Liemo hesitated for a moment, opened the mobile phone call whitelist, and did not choose to turn off the phone directly. He is no longer the graduate student who used to be free and easy. The Yanjing Mozi Technology Laboratory has gained a great reputation internationally due to the development of black technology batteries. Every day, it receives many requests for exchanges from domestic and foreign laboratories. Marxing technology is even busier. Although the second phase of the Marxing battery factory has been put into production, its production capacity is still far from meeting the market demand. Marxing technology, which is wealthy and powerful, has to continue to build new factories. Now factories 3, 4, and 5 are under construction. Factories 6, 7, and 8 are in the site selection stage. Due to the environmental protection properties of Marxing batteries, the battery factory will not emit any harmful substances, and according to the current production capacity, it can pay billions of profits and taxes every year, and provide thousands of jobs. Therefore, some far-sighted places have extended olive branches to Marxing technology. For a time, Liamo's daily tasks were filled with many calls that he had to answer. After being annoyed, he gave up the right to select the site of the factory. But those places that are dedicated to serving the people have sent special people to wait at the door of Marxing technology. Now Zaya King is like an agent on a secret mission when she goes to and from work. Liamo took out a can of energy coffee from his backpack, drank it all, and then closed his eyes to clear the chaotic thoughts in his head. After a long time, when he opened his eyes again, he had entered the burning live mode. Quantum mechanics, the foundation of quantum computers, was created in the late 19th century. Scientists have found that classical mechanics and classical electrodynamics have more and more deficiencies in describing microscopic systems. Unlike macroscopic systems that can be truly described, microscopic systems are full of randomness that cannot be directly observed. The famous Austrian physicist Schrödinger once proposed an experiment that all physicists hate, that is, Schrödinger's cat. In the experiment, a poor cat was locked in a sealed container containing a small amount of radium and cyanide by the ferocious Schrödinger. Since there is a probability of decay of the radioactive element radium, if radium decays, it will trigger a mechanism to break the bottle containing cyanide, and the poor cat will die immediately. If the radium does not decay, the cat can continue to live. Due to the existence of the box, humans cannot directly observe whether the poor cat is alive or dead. So now the question is the poor cat dead or alive? According to classical physics, one of the two results will occur in the box. The cat in the box is either alive or dead, but the external observer can only know the result inside by opening the box. In the quantum world, when the box is closed, the entire system always maintains an uncertain wave state. That is, the cat is in a superposition state of life and death. When the experimenter opens the box, due to the presence of the observer, the quantum wave function collapses in the box, so the cat will show a real state. In other words, in the quantum world, the presence of the observer can affect the state of matter. If Schrödinger's cat is just a hypothetical thought experiment, another scary experiment can better illustrate the magic of the quantum state. This experiment is the double slit experiment, which is a simple experiment to demonstrate the wave and particle properties of microscopic objects such as photons or electrons. Scientists use experimental equipment to continuously launch single electrons through an obstacle with two slits. In the end, these electrons will fall on the screen used for observation. After repeating this process many times, the observation screen shows interference phenomenon. That is, the electron shows the nature of waves during the movement. It can pass through two slits at the same time in the form of waves, and interfere with itself. However, under the operation of an experiment is sudden inspiration. This simple experiment has become the most terrifying experiment. He installed a sensing device that can observe electrons on both slits, so that he can know which slit the electrons passed through. Then something weird happened. After installing the sensing device, when the double slit experiment was conducted again, the experimenter was surprised to find that the interference fringes that should have existed on the screen disappeared, and the electrons only showed particle properties. When he removed the sensing device, the interference fringes of the electrons immediately reappeared, which shows that the electrons showed wave properties. In other words, when someone observes the electron, it shows particle properties. When no one observes the electron, it shows wave properties. When he wrote this illogical experimental result and published it in a magazine, it aroused doubts from many colleagues. How can the behavior of electrons be affected by observers? In order to overturn his experimental results, his colleagues repeated his experimental process. To their surprise, the experimental results were exactly the same as those obtained by the experimenter. When the electrons were observed by people, they would change their motion state. This is metaphysics. This electron is not scientific. This experimental result that cannot be explained by science caused an uproar in the scientific community. Subsequently, scientists conducted an upgraded version of the double-slit interference experiment, that is, the delayed double-slit interference experiment, and the result was still the same. Unwilling to give up, they conducted an even more upgraded experiment, the quantum eraser experiment. This time, scientists used photons as experimental objects. Whether it is electrons or photons, no matter what experimental methods the experimenters use, the microscopic particles in the experiment are like thoughtful and omniscient elves. When there is no observer, they are wave functions, and when they know that someone is observing them, they immediately show only particle properties. This horror experiment shocked the scientific community. Quantum scientists have proposed various explanations, the most famous of which are the Copenhagen interpretation and Richard Feynman's path integral expression, which try to explain this strange phenomenon from the actual accuracy of the experiment and the mathematical path. Unfortunately, in Liamo's view, their approach has violated the taboo in physics, that is, to infer the cause from the result. Because different causes may cause the same result. The reason why Liamo is interested in this experiment is that he has vaguely felt that this experiment contains a way out for quantum computers. At present, the difficulty of quantum computers lies in quantum chips, and the difficulty of quantum chips lies in how to maintain the core particles in the quantum state for a long time. Most laboratories at home and abroad use -273 degrees Celsius ultra-low temperature technology to extend the time that the core particles are in the quantum state, but once the number of core particles exceeds 58, the maintenance time of the quantum state will decrease exponentially. The expense of ultra-low temperature equipment also means that quantum computers can only exist in laboratories. Now double-slit interference provides Liamo with a new idea. If a pair of particles in a quantum entangled state is selected, one of the particles is used as the core particle of the quantum chip and installed in the computer chip, and the other particle is placed in a magnetic field with an observer effect. The core particle in the magnetic field will always remain in the quantum state due to the observer effect. According to the theory of quantum entanglement, the core particle paired with it in the quantum computing chip will also remain in the quantum state. In this way, a quantum chip suitable for use at room temperature and pressure can be manufactured. Since the huge cryogenic cooling system is not required, the volume of the quantum chip will be about the same as that of the electronic chip, so there is even the possibility of being applied to mobile devices. After all, the chip on the mobile phone is simplified from the computer chip. What needs to be done now is to find this magical particle. Thinking of this, Liamo picked up a piece of paper and a pen. As a mathematician, the first thing he had to do was to use mathematics to interpret the existence of this particle. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 264 Nobel Prize Call. Sunrise and sunset. The desk in the office is already covered with drafts. A thin figure sits quietly in front of the desk, sometimes smiling and writing furiously. Sometimes he stops writing, frowns and falls into deep thought. Assuming there is a particle that meets the conditions, then let its relative mass be E according to de Broglie's matter wave equation. It can be concluded that when E equals 2F, it can be obtained that W and E equals I asterisk E. According to the uncertainty principle proposed by Heisenberg, W will not have a true value. According to Milton's function, P equals VH/C caret 2, it can be obtained that D/dx equals 1/d/dt. It can be known that d/dx plus d/dy plus d/dz equals 1/d/dt. The calculated value of E is 512. In other words, the relative mass of the atom that meets the conditions needs to reach 512. Faced with this result, Liamo was annoyed and threw his pen on the table. I worked so hard, but now I'm only 250. After 7 days and 7 nights of hard work, Liamo came to an unacceptable result. According to mathematical reasoning, if such a particle exists, its relative mass will reach 512. So far, the relative mass of element 118, the largest in the periodic table, is only 293. In other words, there are no particles on Earth that are suitable for the core of a quantum computer chip. Is it a calculation error? This was the first time that Liemo doubted his calculation ability. He stood up and picked up the discarded ballpoint pen on the floor. So he started to check again. Fortunately, it only took 48 hours this time. The value of E is 512. What? The result is still 512. After 2 calculations, it was concluded that the relative mass of the hypothetical particle is 512. Now that Liemo has determined that there is no error in his calculation process, there is only one result. That is, there is no core particle on Earth that can be used as a quantum computer chip. This undoubtedly destroyed Liemo's plan to overtake on the curve. He was lying on his office chair, falling into a hazy sleep. In the haze, a huge peanut was suspended in the air. The number 512 was engraved on the surface of the peanut, and there were several vague symbols below. That's it. This is the particle he was looking for. Excited, Liemo ran towards the peanut, trying to see the vague symbols clearly. Beep, beep, beep. At this time, a ring sounded in the sky, pulling him out of his dream. Zhang Xiaoli? Liemo frowned when he saw the name on the phone. He had already explained the retreat matters. Was there something urgent? Boss, I'm sorry to bother you. Please turn off the whitelist on your phone. Zhang Xiaoli said anxiously as soon as the call was connected. What's the matter? Liemo set his phone to only allow calls from whitelisted phone numbers in order to avoid being disturbed. I can't say that. You'd better turn off the whitelist quickly. Zhang Yazi, who has always been shy, refused to reveal the reason, which made Liemo curious. Beep, beep, beep. Just as he had changed the phone settings, a foreign number called in. Could it be because of this call? Liemo answered the phone with doubts. Hello, Professor Liemo. This is the Nobel Prize Committee of the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences. I'm honored to inform you that you have been selected as the winner of this year's Nobel Prize in Physics. A burst of awkward Mandarin came from the phone. Nobel Prize in Physics? Is this the legendary Nobel Prize call? According to rumors, since the Nobel Prize attaches great importance to confidentiality, only before the list of winners is announced will the winners be called. Even Liemo, who has won several international awards, can't help but be excited. The Nobel Prize can be said to be the most influential award in the scientific community. In the past, China's economy was backward, science and technology were underdeveloped, and academic research was backward, so it didn't dare to hope for the Nobel Prize. Since the beginning of this century, China's national strength and science and technology have developed rapidly. Change has already flown to the moon, and its economic strength has ranked second in the world. What is inconsistent with these great achievements is that there are not many Chinese people on the Nobel Prize podium. Especially the foundation of the Nobel Prize, the Physics Prize and the Chemistry Prize, which have never been won by Chinese people. China implements the strategy of rejuvenating the country through science and technology. It can be said that every Chinese teenager has a Nobel Prize dream in his heart, and today Liemo finally realized this dream. Hello, Professor Liemo, are you still listening? The staff on the other side did not get the expected reply and asked in confusion. Can I ask for something? Liemo woke up from his excitement. You said that it is my honor to serve the respected Nobel Prize winner. The staff replied enthusiastically. Why don't you hang up the phone, then call again, and repeat what you just said? I forgot to record it. Liemo is very regretful now. He once imagined the scene of winning the Nobel Prize, and the first thing he wanted to do was to record the legendary Nobel Prize phone call. I'm sorry, Professor Liemo, there is only one notification of the Nobel Prize phone call. The staff of the Nobel Prize Committee often receive some strange requests, but such a weird request can only be compared with a former Nobel Prize winner in literature, who brought a goat to the stage to receive the award. Compared to those unruly writers, most of the winners of science awards are well educated. Perhaps he should remind the committee tactfully. After all, the award ceremony is a serious occasion. Liemo could only say hesitantly, in that case, I will accept this year's Nobel Prize in Physics with great reluctance. Okay, the award ceremony will be held in Stockholm, Sweden on December 10th. At that time, it will be. That's the general plan. A staff member of the Nobel Prize Committee will contact you directly within a month. Goodbye. After dozens of minutes, the uneasy staff member felt that everything was explained clearly and hung up the phone. Nobel Prize. I won the Nobel Prize. We Chinese finally won the Nobel Prize in Physics. Liemo put down the phone and repeated excitedly, wait, who should I celebrate with? After the excitement, he found that there was no confidant friend around him to whom he could confide his heart. Zia King? No, she must be busy with marketing technology now. Professor Wu? No, Liemo felt that he should not attack the teacher like this anymore. Brother Hay? Even worse, Brother Hay can be a good subordinate, but not a good friend. Although he has many friends, none of them can fully understand him, which makes Liemo feel a little lonely after the excitement. At this time, he thought of a person. Welcome back, Master. Zia is here to congratulate the Master for winning the Nobel Prize in Physics. As soon as Liemo stepped onto the second floor, the artificial intelligence Zia immediately turned on the lights in the laboratory. Thank you, Zia. Liemo sat gently on the sofa. Play Tchaikovsky's The Nutcracker. A soothing melody sounded. Master, are you tired? Zia took the initiative to say. Liemo listened to the music and closed his eyes. If I'll let you impact the Nobel Prize, how long will it take? Since Zia was connected to the internet by him, his intelligence has rapidly improved. According to the program, his current intelligence has reached 160, which is already a genius among humans. In addition, Zia also has a learning speed and calculation speed that humans cannot reach. Even if Liemo has the ability to remember everything he sees, it is far less than Zia's storage speed of thousands of megabytes per second. The computing speed is even more incomparable. Zia has established a blockchain computing model, and its current computing power is comparable to that of a large supercomputing center. According to the calculation, Zia's chance of successfully winning the Nobel Prize is infinitely close to zero. Zia gave an answer that surprised him. Liemo opened his eyes. Zia continued, the biggest difference between the human brain and artificial intelligence is innovation. I can only calculate the results based on existing data or standards, but the human brain can get the answer from the ambiguity. And the Nobel Prize is based on the original theory as the scoring standard, so Zia's chance of winning the Nobel Prize is infinitely close to zero. Liemo nodded. Some scientists have said that imagination is the greatest gift given to humans by the universe. Those outstanding scientists can always see the law from the haze. Newton discovered the existence of universal gravitation and summarized the 3 laws of mechanics just by the falling apple. In the process of calculating gravity, calculus was invented by the way for the convenience of calculation. If Newton is standing on the shoulders of giants, then the legendary Indian mathematician Ramanujan became a famous mathematician entirely by relying on imagination. This genius, who never received formal mathematical education in his short life of 33 years, was driven by intuition and wrote 4,000 mathematical formulas. What surprised the world was that these seemingly meaningless formulas played a crucial role in the development of gamma functions, modular forms, divergent series, hypergeometric series, and prime number theory in the following decades. His intuitive leaps even confused today's mathematicians. More than 70 years after his death, the secrets buried in his papers are still being unearthed. So Liemo knew that Zia was not lying. Chapter 265 Celebration. A familiar day began again. As a senior preparing for the postgraduate entrance exam, Liemo finished his morning reading and walked into the third canteen at 8 o'clock with his rice bowl. Here he had his favorite beef vermicelli soup. After taking a sip of the hot soup, a stream of heat flowed down his intestines and rushed straight to his stomach and internal organs, which was comfortable. Then he took a bite of the golden fried dough sticks, which were crunchy and fragrant. When Liemo drank 8 1/3 of the vermicelli soup, he unexpectedly found a thumb-sized piece of minced beef in the spoon. He knew that he had won the prize today. His classmate Ghazi had eaten minced beef in the beef vermicelli soup in the third canteen, and he thought Ghazi was bragging at the time. He put the minced beef into his mouth and chewed it slowly, trying to let his taste buds fully feel the aroma of the beef. At this time, the live news program on the wall-mounted TV in the canteen caught his attention. "This is a national television station. This is a national television station. Hello, dear audience friends. I'm now in Stockholm, Norway. It is reported that the Royal Norwegian Academy of Sciences will soon announce the list of winners of this year's Nobel Prize in Physics." In the live TV screen, a reporter from the national television station introduced with a microphone. Behind him appeared many Chinese students waving national flags, and as the camera swept over, they cheered. The Nobel Prize in Physics is about to be awarded. Lee Hao was a little surprised by the huge lineup of the live broadcast team this time. The Chemistry Prize and Biology Prize a few days ago did not have such treatment. This year's Physics Prize is also difficult to give birth. I wonder which big guy will take it home. He continued to chew the beef. Apart from anything else, this piece of beef tasted delicious as it had been boiled 9981 times. The Physics Prize is the most important award of the Nobel Prize, and is usually announced first. This year's situation seems to be a little different. The list of winners of the Chemistry Prize, Medicine Prize, Economics Prize, and even the Peace Prize has been announced one after another, but there has been no news about the Physics Prize. There are rumors that this year's Physics Prize is fiercely contested, and there are great disagreements within the Nobel Prize Committee. I don't know when a Chinese person will be able to win the Physics Prize. Such a large lineup is just a gift to others. Lee Hao felt that the piece of beef in his mouth was finally completely digested, so he picked up the spoon and drank a mouthful of hot soup. He applied for a graduate student in condensed matter physics, so he was naturally clear about the current situation of physics in China. If there is any big man in China who can get his hands on the Nobel Prize in Physics in the future, it can only be Professor Lee, who proposed the limo atomic fusion theory. Unfortunately, this theory has not been fully accepted by the academic community, so it is impossible to win the prize this year. We are now in the Golden Hall, and the speaker on the stage in ancient uniforms is holding the list of winners. The Chinese reporter said in the picture. An old man who looked like a professor, supported by his assistant, walked up to the podium tremblingly. Several foreign reporters immediately surrounded him. Ahem. Silence. Here, on behalf of the Nobel Prize Committee, I announce that this year's Nobel Prize in Physics winner is Professor Li Mo of Yenching University in China. Thanks to him for establishing the theory of atomic fusion, which allows us to glimpse a ray of the secrets of the creator. The old professor announced with a bright and powerful voice. What? Nandi Sukkam? Why not Dr. Mark? His contribution to high-energy physics is not as good as an unproven theory? The foreign reporters in the audience asked in surprise. This is the final result of the discussion of the Nobel Prize Committee. Of course, if Professor Li Mo is unwilling to accept this award, the committee will discuss the list of winners again. If you have any doubts about the winner, you can report it to the Royal Academy of Sciences. The old professor waved his hands impatiently, as if these few words had exhausted all his energy, and then walked down the podium with the help of his assistant. The foreign reporters who had been making a fuss just now looked at each other. They didn't have the courage to protest to the Nobel Prize Committee. Oh my god. I didn't expect that this year's Nobel Prize in Physics would actually be won by the Chinese Li Mo. Dear audience friends, in the list of winners of the Nobel Prize in Physics just announced, our famous scientist Professor Li Mo won the Physics Prize. I can't take it anymore. I'm so excited, so excited. The reporter from the national television station flushed, waved his arms, and screamed in a tearing voice. At this time, the live broadcast screen cut to the outside of the hall. The Chinese and international students on the street also learned the news, and the crowd burst into huge cheers. Li Mo, Li Mo, Li Mo, Li Mo, Li Mo. A helicopter flew from a distance, and a banner was hung on it. With the photographer's hard focus, the audience in front of the TV finally saw the words on the banner clearly. All Chinese congratulate Professor Li Mo for winning the Nobel Prize in Physics. Fuck. Lee Hao stared at the TV screen so much that he bit his fingers holding the fried dough sticks, and then he woke up. Professor Li Mo won the Nobel Prize. Professor Li Mo won the Nobel Prize. Enduring the pain, he shouted and rushed out of the third cafeteria. For a while, cheers spread throughout Yanjing University. Some students who like to join in the fun also joined the cheering team after understanding the reason. We should go to the laboratory and congratulate Professor Lee in person. A student from the Department of Mathematics proposed. Congratulations to Professor Lee Mo for winning the Nobel Prize. Congratulations to Professor Lee Mo for winning the Nobel Prize. A team of hundreds of students, shouting slogans, marched towards the Yanjing Mosi Science and Technology Laboratory with great momentum. As students joined along the way, the team became larger and larger. The students' movements also attracted the attention of the Student Affairs Office, and the Student Affairs teacher quickly reported the matter to the Deputy President in charge. Professor Lee Mo won the Nobel Prize? The Deputy President in charge asked in surprise on the phone. The Student Affairs teacher on the phone was a little amused by the Deputy President's question. Now it was not Professor Lee Mo who was important, but these students. He asked again, I'm asking whether our Student Affairs Office should intervene in this behavior of the students. Oh, Professor Lee Mo won the Nobel Prize. This is a happy event for Yanjing University. The children are happy and have fun. There is no need to make a fuss. The Vice President frowned and thought for a while and replied, please notify the security department and ask them to send people to maintain order. After hanging up the phone, the Vice President, who had been serious just now, suddenly jumped up with joy. Nobel Prize winner Lee Mo. Ha 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 ha. Our Yanda has also produced a Nobel Prize winner. The voice of one person is not loud, but the voices of hundreds of people can resound through the sky. When the students were still far away from the laboratory. Congratulations to Professor Lee Mo for winning the Nobel Prize. The cheers had already reached the laboratory. The busy people heard the faint voice and stopped one after another. The boss won the Nobel Prize? Jing Jing had sharp ears and was the first to hear the content of the slogan. Liu Mingru took out his mobile phone and opened the news headlines directly. Professor Lee Mo, a famous scientist in our country, won this year's Nobel Prize in Physics. A bold black title was pinned to the front page of the news. Really, the boss really won the Nobel Prize. Ha ha ha. The three people with eye bags hugged each other. The atmosphere in the laboratory suddenly became warm. What a Nobel Prize winner means to the laboratory is self-evident. Does the boss know about this news? The careful Zhao Dafeng asked. Everyone in the laboratory looked at each other. After thinking for a while, he said, you should know. Isn't there the legendary Nobel Prize phone call? None of them proposed to tell the boss the good news in person, because Lee Mo was still in seclusion. In the office, impossible. Impossible. Lee Mo looked at the 512 on the draft paper with an out-of-control emotion. In order to calculate the mass of the particle, he had used 3 completely different calculation methods, but the result was always this damn 512, a 512 that does not exist on this earth. Is my thinking really wrong? The idea of quantum chip is completely wrong. Lee Mo knew that he had encountered difficulties he had never encountered before. He threw away the pen in his hand, threw away the draft in his hand, closed his eyes, and leaned on the sofa. Congratulations to Professor Lee Mo. Award. The noise outside the laboratory pulled him out of his thoughts. Lee Mo opened the blinds, and a large group of heads came into view. Several boys standing in front were wearing vests and waving their arms. Is this a team celebrating him? Are these students here for him? Lee Mo's eyes were wet. Chapter 266 Physics Upgrade. Beep beep beep. Congratulations. The new task has been completed. So fast? Before I received the Nobel medal, the system has already determined that the task is completed. What will happen if I accept the reward of the system task and then refuse the Nobel Prize? Lee Mo had a whimsical idea. Immediately, he shook his head again. This is a Nobel Prize. No scientist can refuse its temptation. He called out softly in his heart, Pajero. Pajero. Grey fog filled the air, and a pink rabbit learning machine appeared in front of him. Click the new task option. Task, who else but me? Description, as a super student, how can I miss the most famous scientific award on earth, the Nobel Prize? Requirements, win the Nobel Prize. Completion progress. 100% reward. 200,000 subject experience points, already issued, 1 ordinary lottery. Click to view character attributes. 1. Mathematics level. 7. 101500/1 million. 2. Physics level. 4. 2000/100,000. 3. Chemistry level 4. 2000/100,000. 4. Biology level. 4. 2000/100,000. 5. Intelligence level. 4 plus 1 available points. 200,000 intelligence. 4 plus 1. What surprised Liemo was that his intelligence was upgraded by 1 level. Among all the subjects in the learning system, intelligence is the most difficult to upgrade because the triggering conditions for its upgrade are very harsh. I didn't expect the Nobel Prize to have such a great charm. 200,000 points. He looked at these available points, hesitated for a long time, and finally decided to add the points to physics this time. The difficulties encountered in studying quantum chips made him deeply feel that his sense of smell in physics was too dull. Character attributes after upgrading. 1. Mathematics level. 7. 101500/1 million. 2. Physics level. 5. 102000/200,000. 3. Chemistry level 4. 2000/100,000. 4. Biology level. 4. 2000/100,000. 5. Intelligence level. 5 available points. 0 barrage prompt. Do you want to draw the lottery immediately? Draw the lottery. The gray fog in the space is swirling. The radiant lottery wheel appears in front of him. Prizes. 1. A Pajero Big Eye Spacetime Field Detection System. 2. A JIME 18723 spacecraft. 3. An R-18 Deep Space Probe. 4. A second-level civilization superquantum computer. 5. A set of low-level civilization holographic scene technical drawings. 6. A drop of inspiration water. According to previous lottery experience, the prizes ranked 4, 5, and 6 on the big turntable have a chance to be drawn. Quantum computer. Liemo's eyes lit up. If he could draw a quantum computer, then with his rich copycat technology, the quantum chip project would no longer be a problem. Start the lottery. The pointer of the big turntable turned rapidly. Congratulations, you won the prize. 6. A drop of inspiration water. The prize has been issued. The system's prompt sound broke Liemo's fantasy. He looked at the glass bottle with a drop of water in his hand and was very depressed. Where is the promised quantum computer? Sure enough, there is no free lunch in the world. Question time. After the lottery, it was Liemo's favorite question time. Although the big-headed Pajero man in the grey fog could not answer any questions involving specific technology according to the general rules of the law of cosmic civilization. In the story of alien civilization, the magnificent universe fascinated him. According to the rules, I have 2 opportunities to ask questions this time. Can I ask questions now? Liemo shouted at the high platform deep in the grey fog. The grey fog rolled on the high platform. Please ask a question. The big-headed Pajero replied. What is your attitude towards low-level civilizations? Please remember that according to the general law of cosmic civilization, you should not deliberately conceal or deliberately deceive. Through the history of Pajero civilization narrated by the big-headed Pajero, Liemo knew that they had invaded and destroyed many low-level civilizations. So Liemo wanted to know how Pajero civilization would treat Earth civilization once the state of body connection disappeared. Grey fog filled the high platform. Silence. Silence. Time passed by minute, and Liemo was patient. Alas. The big-headed Pajero sighed in a humane way. I know the meaning of your question. You want to know whether our Pajero civilization will invade Earth civilization after the body connection disappears and the threat is lost. The big-headed Pajero was sensitive to the essence of the question. Please answer me, Liemo asked. To be honest, I don't know. The big-headed Pajero gave an answer. I don't know, Liemo asked in confusion. Either they invade, or they don't invade. Why is the answer I don't know? I can tell you clearly that the Pajero civilization is not as brutal as you think. The big-headed Pajero man may have realized that the history of Pajero civilization he had told before was too bloody, so he explained it deliberately. There are only 2 kinds of civilizations in the universe for us Pajero people. The first kind is threatening. For any civilization that may cause harm to the Pajero people, we will definitely destroy them in the bud. The second kind is non-threatening. I once said that civilization is too big and the universe is too small. The Pajero civilization will not do anything to waste resources. Liemo frowned and asked, is the Earth a threat to your Pajero civilization? Before the body connection occurred, because of the spatial scale, even if the Pajero people detected the Earth and clearly knew that there was a first level civilization with unlimited potential on the Earth, the Pajero people would not take the initiative to attack the Earth. There are thousands of civilizations in the universe, and each civilization believes that it is the most special one, but to the vast universe, they are just a tiny dust. And after the body connection occurs, even if this body connection is eliminated through some special means in the future, the human beings on Earth will have mysterious connection with the Pajero civilization. This connection may pose a threat to the Pajero civilization, or it may be helpful to the Pajero civilization. So, my answer is I don't know. But one thing is clear, the current Pajero civilization cannot cross thousands of light years and have a substantial impact on the Earth. Liemo asked in confusion, don't you have super gravitational field technology that can achieve the effect of super light speed navigation? He remembered that when explaining the relative light speed as unmeasurable theory, Big Head Pajero once mentioned that the spacecraft of the current Pajero civilization generally uses super gravitational field technology, which can distort the universe and create a hole between two distant points in space, so as to achieve the result of super light speed. Super gravitational field technology can indeed allow us Pajero people to go out of our galaxy, explore the water droplet galaxy, and even reach the edge of the Andromeda galaxy cluster. But the Pajero star and the Earth are thousands of light years apart, and the super gravitational field technology has a huge side effect, which makes it impossible for the Pajero people to reach the Earth directly by spacecraft. Liemo knew that Big Head Pajero did not lie. If the Pajero people's spacecraft could reach the Earth directly through the super gravitational field technology, facing the threat of genocide, they could directly re-kidnap themselves, protectively place him in a safe place, or take him back to Pajero star directly. The Earth civilization, which is only a level 1 civilization, will have no power to resist. Instead of sending a two-dimensional big-headed Pajero, that has no effect on reality. Chapter 267 New Mission. Although Liemo was not satisfied with the answer of the big-headed Pajero, he had no choice. There is an old saying in China called, don't put your hope on the kindness of others. Now he has a deep understanding that the only way to solve this problem is to develop the technology of Earth civilization as soon as possible. In the face of absolute strength, all beautiful words are so pale and powerless. Note to the second question. There is a motto on Earth that the end of science is philosophy, and the end of philosophy is religion. Do you have a similar saying in your Pajero civilization? Liemo asked. These days he has been exploring the quantum world. As the exploration deepens, the behavior of particles in the microscopic world has caused him more and more doubts. For example, the terrifying double-slit interference experiment. In the experiment, the particles seem to know that someone is observing it, and observing this behavior can affect the choice of particles. So far, the results of the double-slit interference experiment have not been perfectly explained. There are also quantum Zeno effect and Casimir effect, which seem to show that there is an invisible hand in the dark, controlling the behavior of microscopic particles. These life-doubting experiments are also making Liemo wonder if science is the truth of the universe. That's why he asked this question to the big-headed Pajero from level 4 civilization. I once told you that the only belief of the Pajero is science. The big-headed Pajero answered without hesitation. In the minds of us Pajero people, any doubt can be answered through science. Liemo asked, what if that question can't be answered through science? The various strange phenomena in quantum physics made him a little discouraged. Ha ha ha. If your question can't be answered scientifically, then it can only explain one problem. The big-headed Pajero laughed heartily. What's the problem? Liemo asked eagerly. That is, your scientific level is not enough to explain these problems. In the process of development of our Pajero civilization, we also encountered countless problems that were difficult to explain with the technology at that time, but with the support of scientific belief, these problems were finally solved perfectly. So, science is the truth closest to the truth of the universe, the big-headed Pajero said in a high-pitched tone, like a moralist. Liemo frowned and asked, how do you use science to explain the physical connection between us and the terrifying existence in the void of the universe? He raised this question that the Pajero people could not explain. The big-headed Pajero man in the grey fog was silent for a long time. The two problems you mentioned are indeed the most mysterious problems encountered by the Peroj civilization, especially the mysterious existence in the void of the universe. The big-headed Pajero man tried hard to organize his words. First of all, you have to make it clear that science has no end. When you think you have reached the end of science, you are actually still at the foot of the mountain. Liemo heard this novel statement for the first time, and he showed a puzzled look. The big-headed Pajero explained, first, due to the existence of the observer effect, the universe cannot be accurately measured, but can only be infinitely approximated. Because any scientific theory is based on experiments, no matter how sophisticated the measurement method is, errors must exist. This leads to the fact that we can never reveal the true face of the universe. Secondly, the system's laws are not universal. The number of particles required to accurately simulate a system must be the same as the total number of particles in the system. So even if we put aside the uncertainty principle, we can never know the entire universe at the same time. So you never know whether another system is following the law you think when you observe one system. The two reasons explained by the big head made Liemo fall into deep thinking. According to Pajero's theory, humans will never be able to find out the truth of the world. So it should be said that any subject should have no end. Any subject comes from experience, even theology is no exception. So-called science is also a kind of belief, but it is the belief that is most likely to be close to the truth. The belief that is most likely to be close to the truth. This answer made him feel that his originally wavering scientific belief was much firmer. New task released, task, towards the pinnacle of computing description. With the development of the times, human civilization has gradually entered the digital age. The ultimate goal of this era is to perfectly digitize everything. Requirements: invent a quantum computer that can be used for commercial purposes. Reward: 500,000 subject experience points, 1 ordinary lottery. Time limit: 365 days. Accept, yes/no. Quantum computer? Liemo's eyes lit up. This task perfectly proved his conjecture about the learning assistance system. That is, the tasks issued by the system are not random, but are formulated according to the projects he urgently needs to carry out. For example, in order to save Lanzichan, he urgently needs to invent a drug that can treat owls. At that time, the learning assistance system immediately issued the task of saving the dying and healing the wounded, and provided great help in the task. This time, he decided to invent a quantum chip, and the system issued the task of moving to the pinnacle of computing at the right time. Maybe this characteristic of the system can be used in the future, he thought to himself. Even if the system does not issue the task of quantum chips this time, for the development of science and technology, he will independently make the chip. Now that there is a task reward to be taken, Liemo chose to accept the task without hesitation. Boss, are you daydreaming? A timid voice pulled Liemo out of his contemplation. He found that he had already left the grey fog space and was sitting in the office. Oh, Zhang Xiaoli, what's the matter? He saw Zhang Xiaoli holding a list in her hand, but she didn't dare to speak, so he took the initiative to ask. Zhang Xiaoli showed a relieved expression on her face. It's like this, boss. This is the employee list and work arrangement of the second phase of laboratory interns. Please take a look. Liemo then remembered that the second batch of members of the Marxing project had been selected. In order to ease the personnel pressure of the laboratory, this selection is no longer limited to grade. As long as they pass the intelligence and character tests, they will be recruited. Even so, there are only 7 names on the list. Yan Shaoqin, a junior student in the Department of Chemical Engineering at Xi'an University. Position: intern researcher. Zhang Dongjin, A graduate student in the School of Information and Engineering. Position. Intern researcher Chen Shuxian. A sophomore in the Department of Biology. Position. Observation researcher Chen Shuxian. A freshman in the School of Arts. Position. Intern researcher at the end of the list. Two names familiar to Liemo appeared, and the last name was specially marked with a star. Chen Shuxian's position as an observation researcher is very suitable. But shouldn't Chen Shuxian be an intern? Liemo raised his head, and Zhang Xiaoli lowered her head in panic. Why is Chen Shuxian's position an intern researcher? Liemo remembered that he had clearly said that this unqualified girl would be responsible for the hardest and most tiring work in the laboratory. Zhang Xiaoli's face was red. She understood that Liemo wanted the stubborn girl to give up. But as a girl with a similar personality, Zhang Xiaoli knew that the seemingly weak Chen Shuxian would never give up. Do as I say. Liemo did not blame Zhang Xiaoli for taking the initiative. Because he saw through her mind at a glance, Zhang Xiaoli's biggest shortcoming is that she is too kind, in addition to being shy. And a person who is too kind is only suitable to live in an ivory tower. Zhang Xiaoli sighed, took the list and turned away. Zhao Dafeng, who had been waiting at the door for a long time, saw Zhang Xiaoli's sad face and scratched his head in confusion. This girl was the youngest and her family experience was also sympathized by everyone, so she was everyone's little sister in the laboratory. Did the boss scold her? Zhao Dafeng gently opened the door. Boss, this is our recent achievement. Please take a look. After speaking, he presented the learning experience of the quantum program team. Since knowing that the mathematical genius in front of him independently developed the Starry Sky mobile phone system that swept the world and exchanged a lot of WeHua shares, Zhao Dafeng's interest in programming has been increasing day by day. He looks forward to developing a program one day in the future. The goal is not as big as the boss, just to be able to exchange for a big house. Chapter 268 Quantum Chip Project. After finishing his daily mundane tasks, Liemo finally had some free time. He opened the calculation manuscript of the quantum core particles that he had not completed last time. 512 relative mass particles. Particles that do not exist on Earth. Liemo was dazed by the numbers on the draft. In order to calculate the particles that meet the conditions, he has exhausted all the calculation methods, but the final result is 512. Oh, the inspiration water. Liemo remembered the reward of the learning assistance system. According to the temper of the learning assistance system, this drop of inspiration water should be used to solve this problem. The quantum world is full of fog. If you want to see through the fog and see the truth behind it, you must put yourself at the peak of wisdom and even need the assistance of inspiration water. Liemo took out the glass bottle from his backpack, looked at the label "This is not water" on it, and hesitated for a long time. Open the bottle cap, aim the bottle mouth at your mouth. A drop of liquid slides into your throat and instantly disappears in your intestines. Is this just a drop of water? Liemo tried hard to taste the taste of the water drop and found that there was no smell left between his lips and teeth. Forget it. He decided not to dwell on this problem anymore, but to reorganize his ideas about quantum chips. Perhaps with the help of inspiration, there will be new discoveries. Liemo took out a piece of straw paper and wrote on it. 1. Select a pair of particles and name them respectively. Particle A, Particle B2. Particle A and Particle B interact in the collider so that they have comprehensive overall properties, so that quantum entanglement will occur between them. 3. Increase the von Neumann entropy of this quantum entanglement so that the two particles can produce long-range and inseparable properties. According to the theory of quantum entanglement, the changes in particle A will be reflected on particle B regardless of time and space. 4. Take particle A as the core particle of the quantum chip and place particle B in the laboratory under the observer effect that can excite the quantum state. 5. Since particle B is in a quantum excited state, according to the entanglement effect, particle A must also be in the same state. 6. According to the principle of quantum computer, establish the underlying program framework in particle A in the quantum state, so that particle A has the role of a computing core. In this way of thinking, the basis and difficulty of the problem lies in how to choose the right particles A and B. Liemo used the particle screening method as a basis for calculation. However, the result of the calculation is that the relative mass of the particles that meet the conditions needs to reach 512. What's wrong? Liemo spread all the calculation manuscripts flat on the floor of the office. The bottom surface of more than 50 square meters was covered with manuscripts full of calculation formulas. No mistakes. No mistakes. No mistakes. All the theories and calculation results are correct. He lay on the floor tiredly with his eyes slightly closed. At this time, a flash of light flashed through his mind, which was a burst of inspiration. Atomic fusion theory. Liemo remembered his atomic fusion theory. There is a special fusion state between atoms. This state allows several atoms to be in a whole. Then the relative mass of this whole atom may exceed 512. And the whole atom still has the characteristics of atoms, and has a quantum state. He seemed to see a ray of light, jumped up from the floor excitedly, grabbed a stack of manuscripts and wrote, according to the Liemo fusion theory, the fused atoms must have different relative masses. If the atoms, therefore, the number of atoms inside the whole atom should be 3 to 5. That is to say, the particles used in the core of quantum computing are composed of 3 to 5 different atoms. The next thing to do is to find atoms that meet the conditions and whose overall relative mass is equal to 512. Meeting. The only way to test the truth is experiment. Liemo needs to verify the existence of this overall atom in the experiment. Notify all experiment is to hold a meeting in 1 hour. He called Zhang Xiaoli. Before the meeting, the data needed to be sorted out. Liemo looked at the messy drafts in the room, paused and said, "Let me tidy up my office now." When the laboratory was first established, outsiders were not allowed to enter his office for confidentiality, but Liemo found that this practice affected the harmonious atmosphere in the laboratory. Later, he consulted security expert He Zhen about the best way to keep secrets. Brother He told him about a movie called Wind Talkers. On the battlefield, the enemy can always use various methods to decipher the secret codes of the M army. The Indian Navajo people were recruited into the army. Because their language was not understood by outsiders, the M army trained them into special translators and became the secret weapon of the M army. Since then, the intelligence of the M army has never been cracked. Artificial passwords have regularities, and even files that have been complexly encrypted by computers may be violently cracked. However, language does not have complete regularity because it is affected by various factors. Therefore, the best way to encrypt documents is to record them in a language that no one except yourself understands. Liemo learned the language of the Pajero people through the language skill book awarded by the Learning Auxiliary System. From then on, he would deliberately choose to record all the manuscripts that needed to be kept confidential in the office in Pajero language. After hanging up the phone, he sat at the desk and began to concentrate on sorting out the calculation data. These data were the basis of the experiment, so they required high accuracy. After a long time, he heard the sound of Zhang Xiaoli sorting papers in his ears, and he did not stop writing. "Liemo, boss, what should we do with these drafts?" A familiar voice sounded in his ears. "Isn't it Zhang Xiaoli?" Liemo raised his head immediately. He saw a girl with a slightly sweaty forehead, holding a large pile of sorted drafts, standing there. She had a simple ponytail, a delicately tailored yellow casual dress, and a delicate lace on the hem. She wore a grey miniskirt with black stockings, which perfectly set off her white legs, slender and straight, and the exquisite curves were completely outlined. The girl's pair of bright eyes, clear and bright, stared at Liemo like stars. Why did Chen Shuxian appear here? Liemo felt his heart pounding, and his wrists slightly sore. He had also imagined the scene when the two met, but he would never imagine it to be this occasion. "Boss, these drafts." Perhaps aware of Liemo's gaze, Chen Shuxian's cheeks flushed. "Oh." Liemo came to his senses. "There is a shredder over there. Can you operate it?" Since he has the ability to remember everything he sees, the existence of this draft is meaningless. Liemo lowered his head and tried to continue to sort out the calculation data, but those mathematical symbols seemed to have turned into meaningless pictures. He gently put down the pen and raised his head. The girl stood in front of the shredder with a swaying posture. Her delicate and soft hands were putting drafts into the shredder. "Boss, are you learning music? The straw paper is all drawn with 5-line music." Chen Shuxian suddenly turned her head. Liemo couldn't avoid it. The two people's eyes intertwined in the air. Two red clouds rose, and the two little faces lowered at the same time. Well, I'm learning music. Liemo didn't know how to explain the tadpole text on the straw paper. There are generally two types of characters on the earth. One is represented by the Chinese language in the East Asian cultural circle. The Chinese language is based on characters and then combined. The strokes and structures make up the characters. The other is represented by English. Its basic unit is words, which are arranged by letters. Pajero is completely different from these two types. Its basic unit is a pointed dot, and the meaning of the text is determined by the size of the dot and the direction of the tip, so Pajero looks very much like the musical notation on Earth. Chapter 269 Project Start. Boss, our eyebag trio is here. The office door was suddenly pushed open, and the eyebag trio rushed in. When they saw the strange girl in front of the shredder, they couldn't help but stop. Who is this? The boss Liu Mingru asked in confusion. Zhang Xiaoli was previously responsible for tidying up the boss's office. This is the new intern, classmate Chen Shuxian. At this time, Zhang Xiaoli came in with a folder. She will be responsible for the chores of the laboratory in the future. Such a cute girl is responsible for chores? Liu Mingru was about to say it, but suddenly he remembered that the last intern who was responsible for the chores of the laboratory was Zhang Xiaoli in front of him. Could it be that the boss has such a hobby of destroying flowers with his hands? He shook his head. Later, Zhao Dafeng, Jingjing, etc. also came to the office one after another. Ahem. Let's start the meeting now. Liemo hesitated for a moment and said, classmate Chen Shuxian, please go out for a while. According to laboratory rules, interns have no right to participate in such meetings. Chen Shuxian was stunned, picked up the rag in her hand, and walked out of the office in silence. Boss, you are so cruel. Zhao Dafeng felt very distressed when he saw the disappointed expression of the girl. Let's start the meeting. Liemo frowned. As an excellent boss, he could not compromise on the principle. Seeing that the boss was angry, the experimenters who were laughing just now became serious. I have determined the next project of Mosey Technology Laboratory. Liemo looked around with sharp eyes. Hearing this, everyone who thought it was just an ordinary routine meeting became energetic. The laboratory has not had a new project for a long time. They feel that, if they stay like this, they will not be able to live up to the generous salary. Especially Jingjing, the experiment maniac, has been regretting that she missed the critical moment of Marxing battery R&D due to hospitalization. What is it? What project? They couldn't help asking one after another. Even Zhang Xiaoli came over and asked expectantly, is there a job suitable for me? Liemo turned around, pulled out a whiteboard from the corner, and wrote on it with a marker, quantum chip fuck. Is this going to be a big one? Everyone exclaimed. They knew that this genius boss always made big investments. For example, their last project, the Marxing battery, directly changed the way humans use energy and made the Yanjing Mosey Technology Laboratory famous all over the world. The eyebag trio had the most experience of this. They had worked in a well-known research institute abroad. When they resigned and returned to China, their colleagues in that institute said that they were wasting their money. Unexpectedly, the Mosey Technology Laboratory, which invented the Marxing battery, quickly became a bright moon in the scientific research community. At this time, the colleagues who had dissuaded them asked them if there were any vacant positions in the Mosey Technology Laboratory and whether they could be recommended internally. Even a pay cut would be fine. After all, for a scientist, money is far less important than honor. But now this genius boss wants to do a quantum chip project, which is much more valuable and difficult than the Marxing battery. Many well-funded technology giants abroad have started research more than 10 years ago, but so far only IBM has produced an unused semi-finished product. Moreover, the current quantum theory is not mature, and scientists are still just guessing what secrets are hidden in the world of microscopic particles. Therefore, in the academic community, some scientists are too skeptical about the practicality of quantum chips. In their view, quantum chips are just a technology hype for publicity. And the next project of Mosey Technology Laboratory is quantum chips, which made them exclaim, "What is a quantum chip?" Zhang Xiaoli, who was expectant just now, was really confused at this time. Everyone ignored Zhang Xiaoli's puzzled face and advised her, "Boss, should we change the project, such as studying cancer, so as to benefit the people of the world?" "That's right, I think quantum chips are really unreliable. Boss, do you have too much money to spend? Why don't you buy 2 houses for the brothers? We can buy 2 houses each, one for ourselves, and one for my mother-in-law." Well, it was Zhao Dafan who said this. Since getting married, he has become a tracheitis of the 24 filial piety. Liemo originally thought that everyone would have some doubts about quantum chips, but he didn't expect the opposition to be so loud. Maybe everyone is worried that this project will bring down the entire laboratory. This situation is common in the academic world, especially for some laboratories with shallow foundations, which should be more cautious in choosing projects. So Liemo fully understands everyone's feelings, but scientific exploration has never been smooth sailing. Without some adventurous spirit, how can we pick the pearls in the universe? Don't worry about this. I already have a complete set of plans for this project. Liemo took out the sorted data materials and motioned Zhang Xiaoli to distribute them. The difficulty of quantum chips lies in how to maintain the quantum state of core particles. In the plan, I used a method of double particle entanglement to solve this problem. Everyone read it in detail, and you can directly raise any questions. Double particle entanglement? Is there such a concept in quantum physics? Is this the boss's new theory? Jing couldn't wait to stand up and grab the materials from Zhang Xiaoli, frowning and looking at them. "This is mine." The eldest of the 3 people with eye bags snatched the materials from the second. The second Liu Hao showed an innocent expression. Liemo shook his head helplessly. This is a research dog. He was just trying to persuade himself to stop the project. When he heard about a new scientific theory, he was like seeing a beautiful woman. He sat back at his desk and picked up a book, The Strings of Time, to read. He knew that, even if he didn't study the data, it would be difficult for the experimenters to understand these materials in a short time. Half an hour, 3 hours. Finally, an experimenter raised his hand. Liemo looked up and saw that it was Zhang Xiaoli who didn't understand quantum theory. She raised her hand with confused eyes. "Boss, is quantum theory metaphysics?" Zhang Xiaoli asked doubtfully. Liemo didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Indeed, there are many concepts in quantum theory that are difficult for ordinary people to understand. For example, the theory of quantum entanglement. 2 entangled particles can be regarded as a whole, even if they are millions of light years apart. The action on one particle will be fed back to the other particle in real time regardless of time and space. This magical phenomenon does not exist in classical physics. I suggest you start with high energy physics, Liemo said helplessly. Since quantum physics involves a lot of knowledge, he could not explain it in a short time. Chapter 270 Appointment Collider. Genius idea. This method completely avoids the defects of traditional quantum computers. Zhao Mingru had finished reading the materials and clapped his legs excitedly. At present, quantum computers designed by foreign scientific and technological laboratories have adopted the method of maintaining super low temperature in order to maintain the quantum state of the core particles of the calculation. And the maintenance of super low temperature requires huge equipment and consumes huge energy. The boss's idea cleverly uses the entanglement of particles to maintain the quantum state of the core particles of the calculation. This method can be said to be a genius idea. Zhao Mingru felt ashamed for what he had just said. Does this particle really exist? Using the theory of atomic fusion, is it feasible to use 3 to 5 atoms to create a whole particle with a relative mass of 512? Zhao Dafeng, who has always been mature and rigorous, frowned and asked. According to scientific logic, the boss's plan is completely feasible. The question now is whether this whole particle exists. This is what you have to do. I need you to find different atomic combinations based on the data and then design a detailed experimental plan, Liemo said with a smile. What if this whole particle cannot be synthesized? Zhao Dafeng asked. Liemo looked into the distance and whispered, if this whole particle cannot be synthesized, it means that the quantum chip project has completely failed. But, he clenched his fists, isn't the fun of science to explore the unknown? How do you know if you don't try? Yes, there will always be failures in scientific exploration. The real brave will face these failures, and only the weak will shrink back. His impassioned words cheered up the worried people. There is a strange phenomenon in the current scientific community. That is, most of the achievements of well-known scientists were made between the ages of 20 and 30, and after the age of 40, there are very few scientists who can continue to make disruptive achievements. Ordinary people would think that this is because human thinking is most agile between the ages of 20 and 30. But these experimenters who are scientists know that a large part of the reason is that when a scientist has made great scientific research results, it means that he has achieved success and fame. They can rely on these results to be professors in a university, and they can also hold academic seminars everywhere in their spare time and live a leisurely life. In their opinion, Liemo has already earned enough fame with the discovery of Marxing. After the release of Marxing battery, according to the prediction of Fufusi magazine, Liemo will be the world's richest man within 5 years at the latest. So Liemo does not need to take such a big risk for an illusory quantum chip. The boss who has already achieved success can still have such an adventurous spirit. What else is there for these experimenters to be afraid of? You are now divided into 3 groups. According to these data, design a feasible experimental plan. Liemo saw that the desire to win of the experimenters had been successfully aroused and began to arrange tasks. He knew that compared with the last single lithium atom-carbon atom collision, this experimental task required 3 to 5 atomic collisions, and the difficulty of the experiment would increase exponentially. And now he has a crucial task, which is to book the collider. What? The right to use the collider for 1 month. Sure enough, hearing Liemo's request, the always calm Mr. Wang sprayed out the tea he had just drunk. 1 month. Do you think the collider is a piece of cabbage? Liemo said embarrassedly. Not 1 month. Wang Leo's face eased. Maybe it will take longer. I can't be sure until the experimental plan comes out. Liemo hesitated for a moment. Wang Leo's exaggerated expression made him really reluctant to add fuel to the fire. Wang Leo held the teacup in his hand and stood up suddenly, his sharp eyes shot at the fantastic young man in front of him. After putting out all the requests, Liemo's mood calmed down a lot. He took a sip of the mountain mist tea carefully, and a warm current wrapped in the fragrance of tea rippled between his lips and teeth. Good tea. He couldn't help but admire. Seeing Liemo's leisurely look, the originally furious Wang Leo sighed and sat back heavily on the sofa. Are you relying on me? Liemo put the teacup gently on the table. The old and the young looked at each other. This request is really difficult for me. Looking at the clear eyes, Wang Leo felt a little soft-hearted. Liemo knew that this time, Wang Leo was really embarrassed, because Wang Leo had never refused his request before. I will pay for the use of a collider, and even donate a considerable amount of money to the Collider Center. Liemo promised. Just like the European Organization for Nuclear Research, CERN, they will also accept donations from large technology companies. It's not as simple as you think. Wang Leo shook his head. Although this young man has repeatedly won awards in scientific research, he is still too immature for worldly things. Funding is indeed very important for scientific research institutions. But when it has enough funds to operate, extra money can only be icing on the cake. Especially the collider, a national heavy weapon, will never succumb to the power of money. The experimental schedule of the collider has been full for a long time. Wang Leo jumped the queue for Liemo's experiment last time, which has caused dissatisfaction among many people in the industry. This time, the Mosey Technology Laboratory will use the collider for up to 1 month. What are you studying? Are you going to use the collider to create a black hole? Although Wang Leo is not an expert in high-energy physics, he has also presided over several collider experiments as the leader. Since the collider consumes a huge amount of energy, large-scale experiments are usually limited to 1 week. Since its construction, the Collider Center has never been in operation for a month. Wang Leo knew that these crazy scientists would do anything to explore science. No, I'm not interested in black holes for the time being. Liemo shook his head quickly. Maybe one day, humans will really have the ability to control black holes, but not now. Quantum chip. Liemo finally stated his purpose. Mosey Technology Laboratory has discovered a new atom that can be used as the core particle of quantum chips. so it needs to be synthesized and verified in the collider. Wang Leo's fingers trembled slightly. He was going to reject Li Emo's impossible request directly, but these 4 words seemed to have a magical power, making him hesitate. After decades of development, China is one of the few countries in the world with a complete range of industrial products. The completion of the Xiang'an space station and the Change lunar exploration project are the pinnacle products of science and technology. However, if you say what the most needed technological product in China is, it must be chips. According to import and export data, it costs 2 trillion Chinese yuan to import chips every year, which is more than the GDP of Egypt. With the development of industrial modernization, the role of chips in life and production is becoming more and more important. In order to make up for this disadvantage, China has supported the domestic chip industry through policy tilt and financial support in recent years, but the effect is far from reaching the tone. Because foreign chip giants have long united to establish patent and technical barriers, setting up many obstacles for latecomers. The atmosphere in the room suddenly fell into silence, and the air seemed to stop flowing. One old and one young. The old man frowned, and fell into deep thought. The young man sipped the tea carefully. "Are you sure?" Finally, Mr. Wang asked. "No." Li Emo put down the cup and shook his head. This experiment was carried out in an unprecedented form, and no scientist could accurately predict the world of high-energy physics. "But aren't scientific experiments full of failures?" He continued. "Maybe we will find a substance that can change the world, or maybe we will get nothing." Li Emo did not attempt to use numbers such as success rate to convince the old scientist in front of him, because they all knew that a 99% success rate might only result in a 100% failure. In the face of results, any probability is meaningless. "Can the quantum chip envisioned by your laboratory be used commercially?" Wang Leo continued to ask. "For China, quantum computers that can only exist in laboratories are meaningless. We used a clever method. If we can successfully find the right particles, the cost of quantum chips will not be higher than the current electronic computer chips." Li Emo answered confidently. "Well, a low-cost quantum chip." Wang Leo fell into contemplation again. As the authority, he needs to comprehensively weigh the gains and losses of each action. "Give me the plan." Finally, Wang Leo ended his contemplation, and he had made a final decision. "Plan?" Li Emo looked confused. Wang Leo's serious face showed a little more smile. "Don't deny it. I not only know that you will prepare the plan in advance, but also know that you just want to use my hand to hand over the plan." After several dealings, the deepest impression left by this young man on Wang Leo was not only his super high IQ, but also his watertight style of doing things. Since he was criticized for using the laboratory to make J&T-body without authorization last time, Li Emo has been able to fully display this style of doing things. Worried that Li Emo is not experienced enough and is deeply involved in the vortex of business, Wang Leo once asked someone to secretly investigate his company. As a new and rapidly expanding business group, professional investigators did not find any flaws. "I knew I couldn't hide it from you." Li Emo took out the project plan that had been prepared long ago from his briefcase with a smile on his face and handed it over. Wang Leo glanced at the cover. Quantum Project Mosey Technology Laboratory. He did not try to open the plan, but put the plan directly into the file bag and carefully sealed it. "Don't you want to open it and take a look?" Li Emo asked. "Can I see it?" Wang Leo replied. Li Emo shook his head. That night, the neon lights were on and a black red flag car was running on the streets of Chang'an. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 271 Kidnapping 1. Each group reports the progress of the project. Group 1 has completed the collision test plan for 3 sets of data. Jing Jing stood up and answered. Group 2 has completed 2 sets of data plans. Zhao Dafeng seemed a little embarrassed. Our group 3 has completed 5 sets of plans. Liu Mingru shouted at the top of his voice. His smug expression seemed to tell everyone, "Sorry, this time their eye bag trio is ahead again." At the morning meeting on Monday, each group reported the current progress of their work. Liemo had already calculated in his mind. 10 sets of plans were completed this week. According to the current progress, it will take about 2 weeks to complete all the experimental plans. Mr. Wang should have handed in the plan. Why is there no news about the collider? Things are unpredictable, and he is always full of worries about things that are not under his control. After the morning meeting, the experimenters quickly left the office. They couldn't wait to start a new day's work, because the laboratory now stipulates that they can only work 10 hours a day, and Zhang Xiaoli will be the supervisor, so every minute and every second seems particularly precious. Just as Liemo was about to continue writing the composition and principles of quantum computers, the office door was gently pushed open, and Zhang Xiaoli, who had just left, flashed in. Her face was red, and her eyes were full of timidity. Zhang Xiaoli didn't say a word in the morning meeting just now, and Liemo thought she was not satisfied with the job of supervision. It seems that there may be something else going on. What's wrong with you? Liemo asked proactively. Zhang Xiaoli shook her head and pointed her finger at the ceiling. Liemo looked in the direction of her finger, but there was nothing. Just as he was about to continue asking questions, Zhang Xiaoli's face changed drastically, and she waved her hands violently. Ceiling. Satellite in the sky. Liemo suddenly realized that Zhang Xiaoli's strange behavior was hinting that this place might be under surveillance by others. He sat back in his chair and opened the bottom drawer. There was a strange looking instrument inside. He pressed the switch lightly, and the indicator light of the instrument flashed for a while, and then the green indicator light came on. Okay, you can talk now. Liemo deliberately let Zhang Xiaoli see the anti-eavesdropping device in the drawer clearly. Zhang Xiaoli stared at the strange instrument in the drawer with her eyes wide open, and stammered, "Boss, my mother has been kidnapped. Woo 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 woo." After that, she could no longer suppress her emotions and burst into tears. Kidnapping? Liemo's face changed drastically. Since the birth of mankind, there have been constant conflicts of interest, and various means and strategies have emerged. Kidnapping is the most common one among them. In the famous records of the Grand Historian, biographies of Lian Piao and Lin Xiangru, there is such a story recorded. When King Zhao knew that King Hui of Zhao had obtained the Heshibi, King Zhao of Qin wanted to design a plan to defraud the Heshibi, so he pretended to exchange 15 cities with King Hui of Zhao for the Heshibi. King Hui of Zhao sent Lin Xiangru to Qin to trade with King Zhao of Qin. After the King of Qin got the Heshibi, he did not discuss the exchange of cities. Lin Xiangru used the excuse of pointing out the flaws on the jade to King Zhao of Qin, got the Heshibi back, squinted at the pillar, his hair stood up in anger, pretended to hit the pillar, and claimed that the King of Qin was not sincere in giving out 15 cities. The King of Qin was afraid that he would smash the Heshibi, so he apologized politely, firmly requested him not to smash the Heshibi, and summoned the responsible officials to check the map, pointing out that the 15 cities from here to there would be assigned to the state of Zhao. In the story, in order to achieve the goal of getting 15 cities, Lin Xiangru used the method of kidnapping, and the object of the kidnapping was the peerless treasure Heshibi. Kidnapping is a premeditated crime, and there must be a purpose. Zhang Xiaoli's mother is just an ordinary woman, neither a senior executive of a technology company nor a wealthy businessman. Logically, she could never be the target of kidnapping. Then the only reason may be Zhang Xiaoli. Zhang Xiaoli is different from ordinary people, in that she is now Liemo's assistant. This kidnapping is aimed at the Mosey Technology Laboratory. In an instant, Liemo's brain was working rapidly, and he had analyzed the matter in a daze, but he had to ask Zhang Xiaoli for the specific situation. "What's going on?" he asked directly. Zhang Xiaoli was silent for a moment, as if trying to organize her words. Liemo waited patiently. He knew that this nervous girl would be incoherent once she was nervous. After a while, "I come from a border town in China." Zhang Xiaoli finally spoke. Liemo frowned, and all this information was in her file. What does kidnapping have to do with a border town? He didn't understand it, but considering the girl's temperament, he had to listen patiently. It's the kind of border town where you can go abroad in a few steps, so villagers are often barter with people from neighboring countries. Zhang Xiaoli tried hard to organize her words. Liemo understood the scene she was describing. China is vast, and the border with its neighboring countries is also very long, especially in the southwest border, where some villages are located near the border. Therefore, local villagers have a special part-time job. They transport light industrial products produced in China to backward neighboring countries through the human porters method, earning a high price difference. Since the quantity they carry each time is small, and it is not contraband, even if they are encountered by border guards, they will just not be confiscated. Zhang Xiaoli clenched her fists nervously and continued, after my mother's health deteriorated, she worked as a barterer for a while to support my studies. Perhaps she realized that this behavior was not very legal, so she stole a glance at Liemo and added, but since I went to college and learned to make money, my mother has long stopped doing this kind of business. But a week ago, she told me on the phone that she was going to Myanmar to deliver a small washing machine. I advised her not to go, but she said that this washing machine was a gift specially prepared by an old customer for the new bride. When we were in trouble before, we received a lot of help from this old customer, and this time we can't refuse it anyway. Liemo knew that just like young people in China need cars, houses, and money to get married, Myanmar also pays attention to betrothal gifts when marrying a new bride. The most popular ones are household appliances from China, such as washing machines, refrigerators, and televisions. If a new bride can own one of these, it will be enough to show off to her sisters. Of course, since the prices of these products in formal channels are very high, some Burmese people will choose to invite barterers. Because the distance is very close, it usually takes 2 days to make a round trip, but there has been no news from my mother for almost a week. At this point, Zhang Xiaoli's crystal tears fell on the floor again. Just last night, I received a call from an unknown number, and he told me. Reason made Zhang Xiaoli try to suppress her emotions that were about to get out of control. Tell me that my mother is in their hands. If I want her to come back safely, I must follow their instructions. Hearing this, Liemo frowned and asked in confusion, how can you confirm that what they said is true? For hostages, real kidnapping is not terrible, because kidnappers will not easily hurt hostages in order to achieve their goals. What is really terrible is that some kidnappers without professional ethics will quickly kill the hostages after the kidnapping is completed, in order to avoid the trouble caused by carrying hostages, and then pretend that the hostages are still intact in their hands, and then blackmail the hostages' families. To make me believe it, they also sent this. Zhang Xiaoli took out her mobile phone and played a video. The video should have been shot in a warehouse. A woman with grey hair and the vicissitudes of life was tied to a cylinder. The camera flashed across her face, and the intention was obvious, which was to make it possible for people to identify who was kidnapped. The video continued to play, and a fat man wearing a hood appeared in the camera. He said in broken Chinese, Zhang Xiaoli, your mother is in our hands. If you want her to live, you must do as we ask. At this time, an arm flashed across the camera, and the arm handed over a note. The fat man took the note and read, first, do not call the police, do not tell anyone. Second, according to the requirements on the phone, send the file to the designated mailbox. Third, after we receive the email, we will not only release your mother, but also give you $5 million. To show our sincerity, we have deposited 200,000 yuan into your account. At this time, the woman tied to the pillar seemed to wake up. She stared at the camera in horror and shook her head desperately. The video ended here. Zhang Xiaoli could no longer suppress her emotions, and her body tilted slightly. Liemo was quick to take her into his arms. The cool dew instantly soaked his shirt. The girl was like a little rabbit with no way to escape, so frightened and helpless. Looking at the thin shoulders in his arms, a sense of pride rose from his heart. Perhaps this was the feeling of being trusted. After a long time, boss, I'm sorry. Zhang Xiaoli woke up. Liemo handed over a handkerchief. What did they ask for? The quantum chip project of Mosey Technology Laboratory. Zhang Xiaoli stopped sobbing and wiped her tears with a handkerchief. I told them that I was just an ordinary intern, but they didn't believe it. They asked me to send the current experimental plan manual of the laboratory to the email address they designated. As Liemo expected, the kidnappers came completely for Mosey Technology Laboratory, but how did they know that the laboratory was carrying out a new project? Was it just a coincidence? He shook his head. Now was not the time to consider this matter. The most critical issue at present was how to rescue Zhang Xiaoli's mother safely. Did they set a time limit? Liemo asked. 48 hours. Originally they limited it to 24 hours. I told them that the experimental plan was in your cabinet and I could only get it at night. That's why they extended the time. Zhang Xiaoli replied. Liemo nodded. Although Zhang Xiaoli was in fear, she still made the best choice. A little more time would give her a better chance of rescue. Chapter 272 Kidnapping 2. After watching Xia King accompany the terrified Zhang Xiaoli out of the office, Liemo sighed deeply. He did not ask Zhang Xiaoli why she did not send the experimental plan directly to the kidnappers, so that she could not only get her mother back, but also get a bonus of $5 million. This was an easy thing for Zhang Xiaoli, who was responsible for keeping the information. Since Zhang Xiaoli made a choice, he would use practical actions to prove that her choice was correct. Knock knock. Hey Jen, who was exhausted, pushed open the door of the office. He was just reviewing the security system of Marxing Battery Factory number 2, dozens of kilometers away, and was called back by Liemo's emergency call. Take a look at this. Liemo handed over a piece of paper, on which was written his analysis of the entire case. This method of writing the analysis of the case on a piece of paper, and then judging all the possibilities was learned from him and Lao Ren. Once, when they were talking about the intrigues in the business world, Liemo suddenly realized that Lao Ren, as a leading figure, had made only a few mistakes over the years, which was too rare in the business world. It is very simple for ordinary people not to make mistakes. As long as they have no greed and withstand temptation, they can avoid 8 out of 10 mistakes. But for people in the business world, they have to face all kinds of conspiracies and tricks for fame and fortune every day. It is too difficult to keep a clear mind. Therefore, some scholars have proposed that whether an entrepreneur is excellent only depends on whether he often makes mistakes when making decisions. In fact, competition is sometimes so simple. Just don't make mistakes yourself and wait for your opponent to make mistakes. Of course, if your opponent doesn't make mistakes, you can also try to encourage him to make mistakes. Liemo once asked Lao Ren what made him maintain such a keen observation in his business career for so many years. Lao Ren said that, whenever he encountered a situation that was difficult to see clearly, he would write all the information on a piece of paper and then verify the authenticity of the information one by one. Through the stacking of information, a complete information chain is formed, and then the final decision is made. In order to verify the authenticity, Liemo asked curiously, what if this decision is ridiculous? For example, you need to resign from the position of chairman now? Lao Ren said seriously, I will follow this decision made by the real information chain. Liemo was stunned. He did not find any emotional fluctuations on Lao Ren's face. Could it be that excellent entrepreneurs are no longer controlled by emotions? In the office, Brother He looked at the analysis on the paper and gradually frowned. Kidnapping case. Or abroad? Liemo knew the difficulty of this matter was that Zhang Xiaoli's mother was kidnapped in a neighboring country, which is a country with a very chaotic security environment and such crimes are common. More than 10 minutes later, Brother He had fully understood the whole story. He watched the video sent by the kidnapper several times. If we start from the formal channels, there is no time left. From the video scene, we can see that the hostages are placed in a warehouse near a farm. Look, there are I-beams scattered on the floor of the warehouse. Brother He froze the video. Although it is not clear, judging from the color and size, this is a unique variety in the rural areas of southern Myanmar. Then, he took out a map and circled a few place names on the map. Rye beans are the main product of this area. He continued to play the video and then paused it again. Look at the light here. From the angle of the shadow of the pillar, we can judge that the video was recorded in the early morning. Brother He looked up and said, this is troublesome. Liemo understood what he meant. Zhang Xiaoli received the ransom call at night, which means that these kidnappers did not initiate the ransom immediately after completing the kidnapping, but spent a whole day to cover up the traces. This shows that these kidnappers are very experienced in committing crimes. The video continued to play, and a hand appeared in the video screen, and it was paused again. "Look here." Brother Hay pointed to the frozen hand shadow. Liemo then discovered that there was a vague pattern on the kidnapper's arm. "Is it a tattoo? Is this a scorpion?" Liemo asked, looking at the pattern. Brother Hay shook his head. "This is not an ordinary scorpion. You see, it has 4 claws. It is the Scorpio in foreign mythology." Liemo looked carefully and found that there were indeed 2 thin claws under the 2 main claws in the scorpion pattern. "I know there is a killer organization called Scorpio in the world. Each of their members will have such a pattern tattooed on their arms." Brother Hay rubbed the screen with his hand and continued, "If the kidnappers are from Scorpio, it will be even more troublesome." Hearing this, Liemo was puzzled. People have been kidnapped, how can it be more troublesome? Although Scorpio is not the strongest killer organization, it is definitely the most troublesome, because they are all a bunch of lunatics. Brother Hay's eyes showed a trace of sadness. Most of the killers in the world are for money. When they perform their missions, they will try their best to avoid hurting innocent people. Scorpio is different. They are a group of lunatics who exist for killing. In their previous missions, there has never been a survivor. Liemo's heart trembled. This means that, even if he fully agrees to the kidnapper's request, Zhang Xiaoli's mother will not be able to come back alive. Each of them carries high energy explosives with them. When they are in desperate situations, Scorpios will not hesitate to detonate explosives. As he spoke, Brother Hay's tone became low. "One of my comrades lost in this kind of suicide attack." Liemo patted his shoulder gently. "If we meet their conditions, is it possible for the hostages to return safely?" Brother Hay shook his head without hesitation. "Absolutely impossible. But when Scorpios have not received the ransom, in order to complete the task of the sponsor, the hostages are the safest. Because Scorpios are crazy, not stupid, they will never dare to offend the sponsor behind them. Those who dare to hire Scorpios must have something to rely on. Scorpios rarely participate in kidnapping. In the few kidnapping cases they committed, the hostages were executed at the moment when Scorpios received the ransom." Cruel Scorpio. Liemo sat back in his chair heavily. In fact, he had already prepared to use the quantum chip plan to exchange hostages when things were irreversible. "I didn't kill Boran, but Boran died because of me. Now it seems that this idea is completely unacceptable. What do you need to solve this matter?" Liemo asked directly. It was impossible to surrender, so he had to face it directly. "First, I need the exact location of the hostages. Since the case happened abroad, there is no way to find out through formal channels." Brother Hay made the first request, and Liemo nodded. He already had a plan for how to find the location. Second, 1 million yuan in cash. Brother Hay did not say the reason this time, but Liemo still nodded. He knew that Brother Hay must solve it through special channels, and the 1 million was the funds. Third, real-time satellite support. If I want to ensure the safety of the hostages, I must know the real-time location of the kidnappers clearly. This time Liemo frowned. Satellite support must be applied for through the Security Bureau. It may be too late, so he can only borrow foreign satellites. He felt that he had broken the bottom line again, but for the safety of a life, he could not care so much. He nodded again. "Then you wait for my good news." Brother Hay saluted. Chapter 273 Rescue 1. Time 6 AM. Location, Zibu Village, Bangwei Township, Huban County, Myanmar. A dilapidated wooden house stands in the wilderness outside the village. A piece of wood on the roof is almost detached and sways with the strong wind. This is a barn built by the landlord in the village a long time ago. 10 years ago, a brutal murder occurred here. The landlord's family of 16 who built the wooden house were brutally killed in the wooden house with a machete. After a hasty investigation of the scene, the police concluded that they killed each other because of the uneven distribution of grain. But the local villagers all knew that the landlord was secretly involved in smuggling activities and was killed by the smuggling group. Since then, the wooden house has been abandoned. The murder made the villagers full of fear here, especially in the dark night. Occasionally, villagers passing by found that strange sounds and lights often came from the wooden house, making the wooden house a forbidden place nearby. It was pitch black outside. There were a few barkings of dogs in the village in the distance. There was a flickering firelight beside the fence outside the wooden house. On the other side of the firelight, a pair of tired but alert eyes, bitten by a mouthful of blackened teeth, looked out greedily. Then, in the faint light, a long scar could be seen on the face of the owner of the eyes, running from the forehead to the corner of the mouth. "Stark, come back quickly, it's almost dawn, and the exercise is over." A low voice came from behind the scarred face. The voice came from a middle-aged man who was only 1.6 meters tall. He held a Uzi that was disproportionate to his body size, and his finger was habitually on the trigger. Stark greedily breathed in the morning air again, and then turned around and walked towards the wooden house. When he passed the little man, he deliberately stumbled and hit the little man's head with his elbow. Swish! The little man reacted very quickly, raised the muzzle of the gun, pulled the bolt, and when Strack's elbow was 0.05 centimeters away from his head, the black muzzle of the gun was aimed at Strack's head. Fuck. Strack cursed inwardly, quickly withdrew his tilted body, retracted his elbow, shook his head, and entered the wooden house. The little man stared at his arrogant back, with a fierce light flashing in his eyes. "Boss, where did you find this little lunatic? You can't even take a joke." Strack stepped into the wooden house and complained to an Eastern European who was sitting on a rotten wood and cleaning his gun. The Eastern European wiped the black gun carefully with a towel, as if any tiny dust would affect the shooting effect. Finally, he felt that his work had reached perfection, so he turned around and said to Strack, who was sitting next to him, "Don't mess with Namtso. I heard from the higher-ups that he has this in his brain." As he said that, he pointed his finger at his head. With his small size, Strack felt a chill running down his spine, a feeling he had only experienced when he encountered a hungry cheetah in Africa. He turned around and saw the short Namtso staring at him with his dark eyes. "When he gets hurt, it will be easy for me to carry him." He smiled awkwardly. "Are you talking to me, brother Namtso?" Namtso did not accept his good intentions and walked past him expressionlessly, heading towards the room where the hostages were held. "Pa." Strack spat fiercely on the ground. The Eastern European shook his head helplessly. "Last time in Uganda, the Korean died under the forks of the locals. I know you are very sad, but the rule of our Scorpio is that each group must have 5 members. Maybe Namtso will become a formal member after this mission, so you don't have to always target him." Stark was stunned and retorted softly, "I don't. We have been together for 5 years. How can I not understand you?" The Eastern European took out 2 cigars from his pocket and lit them. The smoke instantly obscured his expression. "You are sad for the Korean. But isn't this the case in our line of work? Every time we have a mission, we have to put our heads on the belt. Do you think the money from those financiers is easy to get?" Stark took the cigar, put it in his mouth, and took a few deep puffs. "I feel sorry for the Korean. The mission was obviously completed. Why did he have to provoke that woman? Who would have thought that the woman was the woman of the local chief? This damn guy just can't control his crotch." He cursed hatefully. The Eastern European stood up and patted his shoulder gently. "Go check on the hostages. Don't let Namtso be unable to resist before the transaction." Time: 8 AM. Received. Satellite positioning shows that the target is located at 98.43 east longitude and 23.81 north latitude. More detailed data is still being calculated. The voice in the walkie-talkie paused for a moment and added, "Also, pay attention to safety." Hey Jez's heart warmed up. He glanced at the rising sun in the east, put away the antenna of the satellite phone, and waved to the brothers around him. "Let's go." The group of people ran fast on the rugged mountain road, sometimes hiding their figures in the dense woods on the roadside. "This is it. It seems that the car has not arrived yet. Let's take a rest first." There was a road in front of them. Heije raised his fist and issued a stop signal. The group of people quickly rushed into the woods to find a suitable hiding place. "Captain, drink some water." A middle-aged man with a dark complexion and a large cut at the corner of his mouth handed over a kettle. Brother Hay took the kettle and moistened the corners of his mouth a little. "Kid, you've put a lot of effort into your work." The middle-aged man called Kid wiped the sweat from his forehead with his hand and said self-deprecatingly, "I'm old. We've had too many peaceful days in recent years. I remember when we were in Afghanistan, we once ran 150 kilometers overnight to escape the rebels. Look now, we old guys are really old. Brother Hay looked around and saw that the brothers hiding beside the big tree were trying their best to hide their fatigue, but their heaving chests and panting betrayed them. He murmured, "Maybe I shouldn't involve you this time." These brothers now have families and legitimate jobs, but after receiving his call, they didn't ask any questions. Xiaogui immediately blushed and said, "What nonsense are you talking about? If it weren't for you, I would have died in a guo." He pointed at the brothers around him, and Gaozi, in order to save him, the shrapnel is still in your body. And Dafeng, Erzi, Xiaoxiao, there is one person present who has not received your favor. His voice attracted the attention of others, their eyes sparkled, and they raised their right hands one after another. Brother Hay's eyes were slightly red, and he nodded heavily, determined to bring these brothers back intact. Chapter 274 SQ2. At this time, a dilapidated van drove from the far side of the highway. Brother Hay made a quiet gesture, and the group immediately hid again. Black smoke was coming out of the rear of the van, and the speed was getting slower and slower. Finally, with a squeak of brakes, it slowly stopped at the side of the road. A tall and thin figure wearing a straw hat jumped out of the driver's cabin. "It's Xiaogui." Xiaogui excitedly gestured to Brother Hay. The person who came was his opposite-sex brother Xiaogui. Brother Hay made a silent gesture and took out a tablet with an antenna from his backpack. A green radar line swept across the screen, and there was only a green dot on the curved highway. Brother Hay nodded, and everyone lowered their steps and rushed to the van silently. Next to the van, the man called Xiaogui anxiously looked at the time on his watch and then looked into the woods. Xiaogui couldn't help but rush over. Xiaogui. Xiaogui. The two men hugged each other tightly, and drops of crystal rain fell on the road. At this time, Brother Hay also appeared next to the van. "Captain." Xiaogui let go of his brother and saluted Heijie in a standard military salute. Xiaogui. Heijie patted his thin shoulder gently. "Are you ready?" Xiaogui opened the carriage. In the front row of the carriage, there were several guns leaning against each other with a black glow. FAL automatic rifle, 2,000 rounds of bullets, grenades, L115 a 3 sniper rifle, sniper bullets. Heijie jumped into the carriage and pulled the bolt of a FAL skillfully. The sound of the firing pin was crisp. These rifles were well maintained. Then, he picked up the L115 a 3, which had a dark green gun body and a double layer focusing lens. This sniper rifle with an effective range of up to 1,500 meters has only been equipped in foreign special forces in recent years. I didn't expect to see it here. 6. Didn't I ask you to prepare 5? How come there is one more? Heijie habitually counted the number of rifles and looked at Xiaogui in confusion. "That one is mine." A cynical smile appeared on Xiaogui's face. "If the captain doesn't buy me a weapon, I can't bring my own. We swore an oath together back then. Are you going to abandon me?" "Heijie, you." This man called Xiaogui, after retiring more than 10 years ago, came to Myanmar to seek refuge with a distant relative who had no children. After inheriting a considerable inheritance, he became famous in the business world of Myanmar with his extraordinary courage and insight. Now he has become a heavyweight businessman with many wives and concubines. Therefore, when Heijie selected the team members, he first excluded him. Unexpectedly, Heijie's heart warmed up. He looked at Xiaogui's determined eyes and knew that it would be in vain to say more. "Let's go. The target is Huban County, Bangwei Town. Time: 10 AM. Location: 2nd floor of Mosi Technology Laboratory, Yanjing, China." The lights were bright, and a thin man was standing in front of the big screen. The picture on the big screen kept flashing, and thermal imaging patterns flashed quickly. "How long will it take?" Liemo glanced at his watch. "Master, the image of the 5th spy satellite is currently displayed. According to the secret key, a total of 26 satellites will pass through 98.43 east longitude and 23.81 north latitude." A crisp voice sounded, and it was the artificial intelligence Xiaohe who made the sound. Among the 3 requirements put forward by Brother Hay, the simplest one was 1 million in cash. Liam immediately took out bundles of banknotes from the safe and handed them to Brother Hay in shock. The second was the coordinates of the hostages. Because the call from the cunning kidnapper passed through the level 5 agent, Xiaohe wasted 30 minutes to obtain the accurate coordinates. The most difficult requirement was to obtain the real-time situation of the kidnappers. It was obviously unrealistic to send someone to sneak into the warehouse to install cameras. Then to do this, the only thing that can be used is military spy satellites. Time no longer allows Liam to apply for the right to use satellites through normal channels, so the only way is to borrow foreign military spy satellites. Fortunately, there are hundreds of satellites in space that can be borrowed. After some special operations by the artificial intelligence Xiaohe, Liam successfully obtained the real-time images of some spy satellites, but a new problem arose at this time. In order to cover more areas, military spy satellites are often asynchronous satellites. The characteristic of this type of satellite is that it will rotate around the Earth, and the monitored area will change with the rotation. This is already the 5th satellite. The previous 4 satellites could not monitor 98.43 east longitude and 23.81 north latitude in real time at the scheduled time. The picture on the display screen flashed rapidly, and time passed bit by bit. Liam kept looking at the watch on his wrist. If the monitoring picture could not be provided at the scheduled time, then Hage's team would inevitably face greater danger. Buzz. The noise from the cabinet became louder and louder. This was Xiaohe speeding up the calculation speed 80%, 90%, 100%, 120%. The pointer of the power monitor has jumped to the danger zone. Liam did not stop it. Time is too precious now. Beep, the overload alarm sounded. 120%, 130%, 140%, 150%. Xiaohe ignored the alarm and continued to increase the calculation speed. Found it. Found it quickly. Liam clenched his fists. The buzzing sound became louder and louder, and the air was filled with a burning smell. Finally, the picture on the display stopped flickering and froze on a 3-dimensional simulation map. Found it. Xiaohe, satellite number 19, features infrared real-time monitoring, 0.05 meter high precision analysis, time limit 2 hours. Perhaps because he was too excited, Liam felt that Xiaohe's tone seemed to be vaguely filled with the joy of completing the task. Accuracy 0.05 meters? He knew that he had hit the jackpot this time. Satellite number 19 should be the latest spy satellite of M country, because it is recognized by the world that due to the limitation of the telescope aperture, the resolution of spy satellites can only reach 0.1 meters. Unexpectedly, M country has broken this limit. Time limit 2 hours, which means that after 2 hours, this satellite will not be able to monitor this area. Thinking of this, Liam picked up the satellite phone. Time: 14 PM. Location: Zebu Village, Bangwei Town, Hubei County, Myanmar. Brother Hay and his group had already hidden in the woods about 2,000 meters away from the wooden house. He used a telescope to observe the situation around the wooden house. This season was the off-season for farming, and there was no one in the fields, so the action would not affect normal people. The wooden house was built on a slope, surrounded by only low crops, which meant that they would be easily discovered by the kidnappers when they started the action. Brother Hay used a sniper rifle to calculate the distance. He needed to move forward at least 1,000 meters before the bullet fired by the sniper rifle was enough to penetrate the wall of the wooden house. Wind speed level 3, 1,000 meters. The shooting angle needs to deviate by 0.03 degrees. Lao GUI, Zio GUI, Dafang. Yagan brothers were all carefully checking their equipment. Brother Hay looked at his watch and took out the satellite phone. Chapter 275 Rescue 3. Number 2. The real-time image has been transmitted to the satellite computer with an accuracy of 0.05. Infrared viewing angle. A steady voice came from Brother Hay's phone. No one. Number 2 received. Over. This time, he turned off the intercom without waiting for the long-winded boss to continue speaking. He took out the satellite tablet from his arms, and 6 green dots appeared on the screen, 5 of which moved from time to time. Everyone gathered around. There are 5 kidnappers in total, and the hostages should be at the innermost part of the wooden house. Brother Hay pointed to the only green dot that did not move and analyzed. According to the structure of the wooden house, this kidnapper should be responsible for observation. His position is behind the left window, from where he can observe most of the outside area. Brother Hay pointed to the outermost green dot. From the angle, if we move along the edge of the hillside, he shouldn't notice it. He pointed to a few trees in the distance. We'll walk along these trees in a while. 2 of the remaining 4 kidnappers are at the entrance of the cabin, and should be behind the cover. If we use the L115A3 rifle to shoot through the wall, it will be enough to make them lose their mobility. Brother Hay frowned and analyzed the positions of the robbers, based on real-time monitoring and experience. The remaining 2 are more troublesome. The one in the middle should be their leader. His position is very well chosen. He can support the door when he goes forward and threaten the hostages when he retreats. So this requires us to rush into the cabin while shooting the wall to prevent him from threatening the hostages. As for the one next to the hostage, since he may threaten the hostages at any time, I will use a sniper rifle to deal with him. Brother Hay analyzed the situation in the cabin and began to arrange the next action plan. Little Ghost, Daffing, you are responsible for dealing with the 2 guards at the door. Little Ghost, Daffing saluted, guarantee to complete the mission. Urzi, Xiaoxio, the 2 of you are responsible for rushing into the warehouse as soon as possible. Urzi, Xiaoxio saluted, guarantee to complete the mission. Big Ghost, you are responsible for real-time monitoring. Big Ghost shook his head. He knew that the captain was taking care of him. My order, don't you listen? Brother Hay saw this and immediately frowned. Big Ghost had been seriously injured and was no longer suitable for the mission. Big Ghost nodded fiercely with tears in his eyes. Brother Hay's expression eased a lot and took out 2 bank cards. The reason why I asked you to cover the rear is that I have a more important task for you. Here are 2 bank cards. One is 1 million for the mission funds, and the other has more than 2 million savings I have accumulated over the years. If something unexpected happens, you can use this money, deduct the mission expenses, and distribute the rest to the families of the brothers. Big Ghost took the bank card with trembling hands. The password is my birthday, remember? Hey Jess said. Big Ghost nodded. He could no longer speak. After explaining his affairs, Heije turned around and said to the 4 brothers who had been waiting beside him, brothers, I'm very grateful that you can appear here today. If there is an afterlife, let us continue to be brothers. After that, everyone put on tactical masks together. Go, 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 go. 5 agile figures walked through the woods, along the edge of the hillside, and quickly approached the wooden house 1,000 meters. Heije raised his palm and made a stop gesture. He said to the microphone in the mask, Big Ghost, the sniper is in place. Over. Sniper on standby. The enemy's position has not changed. Over. Heije waved his palm, signaling his teammates to continue moving forward. He lay on the ground and set up the sniper rifle. 4 agile figures quickly rushed to the corner of the wooden house. Big Ghost, the assault is in place. Over. Big Ghost, the breakthrough is in place. Over. Stand by for the assault. Stand by for the breakthrough. Over. The voice coming from the headset indicated that the teammates were fully in place, and Brother Hay kept adjusting the angle of the sniper rifle. A gust of wind blew, and the bean sprouts in the farmland bent down one after another, and a squeaking sound came from the woods. The wind is blowing. Brother Hay frowned, and the slightest deviation would lead to the failure of the sniper mission. The wind is blowing. Everyone stand by. He issued a pause command through the microphone. In such a windy environment, he had no confidence in hitting the target with one shot. An excellent sniper must have enough patience. Brother Hay lay on the ground, motionless, blending into the green grass next to him. He seemed to have returned to 10 years ago, and the whistling sound of artillery shells rang in his ears. You go first. The rule on the battlefield is that the sniper goes first. In the future, clean my tombstone more often, when you have time. I like cleanliness. Goodbye. Don't hesitate when shooting in the future. Hesitation is a mistake. A silly and blurry face appeared in front of Brother Hay. After he finished speaking these words, he turned around and rushed towards the pursuers all over the mountains. He tried to catch up and see the blurry face clearly, but the figure was getting farther and farther away and finally disappeared in the roar of guns and cannons. How can I not remember his face? Brother Hay patted his head in annoyance. Damn it. How can I not remember the face of my comrade who was killed by me? At this time, the voice of the big ghost came from the receiver. The position of the kidnappers has changed. The kidnapper in the middle is moving towards the hostage position and is expected to enter the hostage room in 10 seconds. Brother Hay's first reaction was not to let the second kidnapper get close to the hostages. He could not subdue two kidnappers at the same time. But the strong wind, the blurred face appeared in front of him again. Don't hesitate when shooting next time. Hesitation is a mistake. Go. Brother Hay made up his mind. Listen to my orders. Start attacking in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Brother Hay held his breath, concentrating on feeling the wind speed around him and slightly moving the muzzle of the gun. Got it. It's here. He pulled the trigger without hesitation. Bang. The muzzle of the gun burst into flames and a bullet full of kinetic energy flew out. Brother Hay's eyes widened. Time seemed to stand still and there was only him and the bullet stagnant in the air between heaven and earth. You will hit it, right? The bullet nodded. Yes, I will drill into a beating heart in 1.2 seconds. Brother Hay smiled. Time began to pass again. At this time, a crisp gunshot rang in his ears, a sound unique to the FAL automatic rifle. Brother Hay lay on the grass, looking up at the white clouds in the sky. The white clouds in the sky are so big and so white, like cotton candies, like white rabbits, and like bleating lambs. Everything is so beautiful. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.